agenda, and you know I pray very fast, so.
Well, pray really good.
Yes, there you go. You know, our gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you today. We thank you right now for the time we can be here and that we can work for our city. Lord, we pray for the people in Ukraine and the people who are in harm's way. Lord, we pray especially now for the fires in New Mexico, the people that are fighting them, all of the firefighters and the people supporting them. We pray for our first responders in Grants, Milan, and our surrounding areas. Pray you touch them. Right now we know that you have promised us never to grow weary in doing good. So we pray for each elected official here tonight that would lead you and that you would lead them in your direction. Pray for the city, all the staff members that are here tonight. Pray to touch them. Pray that we be a light on the hill by the city of Grants. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. All right, we'll call this meeting in order right at 6 o'clock. Roll call.
Mayor Eric Garcia.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilor Beverly Michael.
Present.
Councilor Fred Rodarte.
Present.
Councilor George Garcia.
Present.
Councilor Zachary Gutierrez.
Present.
Will you all stand and help me say the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as is.
Oh, I'm sorry, we have to,
Remove something.
okay, I need to move some stuff, I'm sorry there. Oof. Sorry, Fran. Okay, I need do a little bit of housekeeping here. Number 22, we're talking about the budget for the resolution for the vehicles for the police officers. We can't get them, we have to wait for that till the end of the year. And then also on the police, Kawasaki chief had found a better price on it, so we'll have to revisit that one. The Mosquito, number 27, he comes from far and wide, so if we could push him up to number 4, please, so he could get back on the road. I'd appreciate that. And I think that's about it, so if I could get a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Excuse me, Mayor, it's items number 22 and 24 that need to be,
That's-
Tabled?
yes.
Oh, tabled.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to table those
And
ones?
then the mosquito control moved to number 4.
Okay, in that case, I make a motion that we approve the budget with number 22 and 24 tabled and number 27 moved up to number 4.
Could I get a second, please?
I'll second
that. Go ahead.
Thank you. Roll call. Councilor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilor Michael?
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte?
Yes.
Councilor Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you. No, we don't need that. Citizens to address the council. So we have Mr. Ray Clemens. Hello, sir.
I want to thank you for this opportunity, and I'll explain just a couple of minutes, letting everybody know about our Cibola Senior Citizen Center. I really want to appreciate the council for getting involved in our last advisory meeting. Councilor Garcia was. You can't hear me? Okay. I'd like to appreciate the council for being involved. Mayor Garcia and all his volunteer work serving meals, and the councilors that come to our advisory board meeting. As chairman of the advisory council, I'll give just a little bit of an update and encourage more people in our community to get involved with the Senior Citizen Center. The COVID crisis has hurt a lot of things in our community, and people coming to the center is one of them. A lot of people now have seemed to have forgotten that it's back open again. Currently, they're serving an average of 250 meals per day. That includes home delivery, the grab and go, where they come and get the meals to go, and the dine in. We're trying to get activities going up again. We have raffles going on a continual basis, bingo, the cake walks, which are a blast, pool tournament on the 27th, ice cream socials. We had an ice cream social today. as a part of the advisory council, I believe that everyone there should be volunteering on stuff. I volunteer to serve ice cream, and it's a lot of fun. Today we went out, I just picked one of the gentlemen that was sitting there eating lunch, and hey, come help me. So he got a chance to meet the other people. Free popcorn Fridays. The last Thursday this month will be a community meeting. Anybody from the community can come in and just give their input. What would you like to see? What activities would you like to participate in? The advisory council meetings on a monthly basis. A lot of good things are talked about, a lot of plans are made, and a lot of things are implemented. A full exercise room, library, puzzle room, coloring rooms, a computer room, and computer classes. We have a gentleman now that volunteers once a month. He does a week-long series of computer classes. So any of our seniors that want to come in and learn the basics, how to turn it on, how to turn it off, he can do that. A lot of our local organizations and individuals are getting involved. For instance, my church, First Baptist Church, we've donated cupcakes and cakes to the bake sales. And so if more people get involved, they could do more. I know at one time in the past, the city staff donated cakes to the bake sale. So a lot of people can get involved. We just invite everybody to come and visit. Lunches are a suggested donation of $1.50. They publish the menus. Just come in and look around and ask, what can I do? There's all kinds of activities. Last 2 years ago, before the COVID, we had a lady who was a writer. So she started a writing and poetry class. And everybody looked at that and said, that's not going to go anywhere. We did a poetry reading after lunch. It took almost an hour and a half to read all the poems. Had 2 people that were there eating come up and say, look, I wrote a poem in high school. Can I read it for the public now? So little things like it make a big impact. We invite everybody over 60 to join us. Get involved. You just come out and see what's going on at the Senior Citizen Center. You know, a lot of times as we get older, and I'm almost old, we have a tendency to sit down by ourselves. Just go out and have lunch, meet somebody you don't know, talk with them, get involved, and let's get this thing back up where it used to be. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Clemens, give Gene and my best. Pray for her every day.
Yeah, will do.
Okay, anybody, citizens to address the city compliance public comment? You guys have any comments on our charter? Thank you. All right, discussion action items. Discussion action approval of April 11th, 2022 City Council meeting minutes. If I could get, I need a motion to approve.
Mr. Mayor, I motion we approve the special city council meeting minutes of April 11, 2022.
Thank you.
I'll
Can I get a
second that.
Thank you, sir. Roll call. Councilor Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilor Michael.
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte.
Yes.
Councilor Garcia.
Yes.
Pass. All right, discussion action approval of April 21, 22 regular city council meetings. I need a motion to approve.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the regular city council meeting minutes of April 21, 2022.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second?
Second, roll call. Councilor Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilor Michael.
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte.
Yes.
Councilor Garcia.
Yes.
That will pass. All right, now, number 3, discussion approval appointment of City Council Community Economic Development Foundation. So we had, we couldn't have Donald on the economic development. It has to be a business person, City of Grants. So we had to take Donald off, and the person that I want to appoint to this position would be Melinda Salazar. She is the insurance lady on First Street, Farmers Insurance. Economic development is, she still has a lot of skin in the game. She's a business owner. She has young kids. She would like to see grants grow, and when I talked to her about it, she said it would be really fun to be on there with Beverly, and she would definitely love to serve grants. So if I can get a motion to approve this.
I'll make a motion to appoint Melinda Salazar on the Cibola Communities Economic Development Foundation.
Second, can I get a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call. Counselor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Counselor Michael?
Yes.
Counselor Rodarte?
Yes.
Counselor Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you, that will pass. All right, discussion presentation, monthly department. Oh, no, we moved the mosquito guy up, right?
Yes.
All right, where's the bug guy?
He's here. He's present. I'll introduce him here in a little bit. Mayor, Council, this is for a renewal of the annual contract for the mosquito control. Same price. He's the sole provider, so we didn't have to get bids. He's the only person that does it not the only person, but the only business in the state that does this. His name is Dr. Paul Sandoval. My request is that we approve this for the FY23 budget. You guys are all aware that we're working on the budget, and this has been included in the budget. So Mr. Sandoval is here. If you guys have any questions or comments to him, as a matter of fact, he doesn't mind coming. There he is. All right. So you want to come up? Oh, sure. If you guys have any questions or don't mind introducing yourself. Okay.
Yes.
Paul Sandoval.
Hello.
I'm with Rodeo Public Health, and I run your public health program and infectious disease, and we manage anything that might come up in that area within the community and the county. Any questions on, you guys might know what we do, I'm sure you've seen our trucks. Your program is, in grants, is one of the most aggressive programs in the state. I do other areas around the state as well, just because of the topography and the water you have here and the way you're set up, and you're pretty swampy. So you guys take a lot of work, but we've been able to get it down and get the numbers down so people can go outside. And that was the goal from the very beginning.
Do you also service Milan or others in Cibola County?
Yes.
So you do that all at the same time?
Other communities in the county, yes.
You guys all remember, it was probably 5-6 years ago, like the mosquitoes were bad. When was it? Like they were bad one year, and then when you guys started coming in, they started to decrease a lot. And then most summers, it's like, where's the mosquitoes? And then you jinx it, and they all come. But yeah, you do a good job, sir. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You do something with the solution that you use is, because I remember back in the day, if I had my window open at night and it came in, it was noxious.
Right.
And you spray throughout the day, not just at particular times, or?
The chemicals that we use my programs changed. We went to water-based. Some places still use oil-based, which causes what your problem is. Oil-based also burns trees and it does bad things. So we use water-based. It keeps it cleaner. Chemicals are a lot more expensive to do it this way, but we get a good kill rate. Our program is pretty much fogging in the evening to early AM. Depends on the winds. Winds are against us. There's so many things we have to have right. We just don't go run a truck. We're watching weather. We're watching humidity, the barometric pressure, the winds, the rain. How much can we spray in and not spray in? So we have a lot of federal guidelines that we have to go by, so we can run through the night. There's a new mosquito that has hit up the Rio Grande Valley now. The Aedes aegypti, which may have been known as Zika Mosquito. She's very aggressive. She bites during the day. So that's going to change a few things the way we manage mosquitoes, especially places like the golf course, where we know people are out all day, and the parks as well. But we're working with that. We're testing here. We have a couple citizens that let us use their homes, and we run our surveys and trapping there all the time, so we can keep up on the numbers and make sure we don't get in trouble on this.
So it's a pretty good science.
It's fun.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So this one was action item number 27 that we moved to 4. Action item mosquito control annual contract FY 2023 sole source provider. I need a motion to approve this.
Yeah, the cost is $94,930.
What is it again, Don?
$94,930 with tax.
for the year.
for the year, yeah.
That's comparable to last year.
It's exactly.
I'll make a motion that we approve the annual contract for $94,930 and what? What was the cents?
Was it?
That's it.
No sense.
No cents? Okay.
No sense.
Need a second, please?
Second?
Thank you. Roll call. Counselor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Counselor Michael?
Yes.
Counselor Rodarte?
Yes.
Counselor Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion will carry.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All righty, so we are back at the library. Number discussion, presentations, monthly department report, Library Education Center.
Library Director Nadine Hiron is present. There she is.
Thank you. Hello, Nadine.
Good evening, Council, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Manager, and everyone out in the audience. My name is Nadine Hiron. I'm the Director of the Grants Public Library, and I'm here tonight just to kind of give you guys a little bit of information about the services that we offer at the library, the many services that we offer. This one? So our location, 1101 Grants, North First Street in Grants. 287, I put 297, but it's actually 287-4793. Our business hours and services, winter hours, we're open Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Saturdays from 9 to 2:30. Summer hours, we're open Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. Starting June 1st, we will be open until 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then on Saturdays from 9 to 2:30. Some of the services we offer, we do material checkout, fax, laminations, prints, copies, notary. We do have rooms that we rent, Interlibrary Loan, Brainfuse, El Portal, Overdrive, and Libby app. We do children's programming, summer reading programs, community events and outreach, community sharing closet and food pantry, and we have public access computers for the public during regular business hours. Material checkout, we have thousands of titles available for checkout. We have titles in adult, young adult, juvenile, children, early reader, and then we have a variety of Spanish titles. As a matter of fact, I just purchased a few thousand Spanish titles in all the different age levels. We have manga, comics, and graphic novels as well. We do have a lot of audiobooks, so if you would prefer to do audiobook over reading, you know, a handbook, we do have several audiobooks, several hundred audiobooks on CD available for checkout. And we've recently been adding a lot of Blu-rays and DVDs that we do have for checkout as well in lots of different interest levels and genres. We've also added a family board game. So recently we started purchasing board games that can be checked out there at the library and played in the courtyard or in the reading room. No library card is required for that. The only thing with that is the board games do stay in the library, but there are several of all ages, family board games, card games, lots of stuff. So those are available for checkout as well. Some of our services, lamination, fax, prints, copies, and scanning. We offer office services at a small cost to the community during regular business hours, which include lamination. We just recently purchased a brand new laminating machine, and we can laminate pretty much anything, so that's exciting. We do fax. We can either send them, and we also receive. So if you have a fax that you need to receive, we can receive them at the library for you. Scanning services are available. One thing that we came across now during the pandemic was obviously the fact that everything pretty much went digital. A lot of people didn't have access to being able to send or receive. So they can bring papers to us, anything that they have, we'll scan them, and then we can email them off to, and that does save cost on fax as well. It's a lot cheaper to scan and send than it is to fax. So we do have the flash drives available that we can scan onto, and then as soon as we've finished sending everything, everything gets deleted. So private information is a big factor with us, so everything stays confidential and private at all times. Prints copies are available with assistance or self-serve. We do have a copy machine that you're welcome to come in and use anytime you would like. If you need assistance, my staff would be more than happy to help with any of those services. Notary and room rental. There is a bonded notary public on site Monday through Friday. There is a small cost for notary as well. Rooms are available for hourly or daily rental for meetings, trainings, conferences, or events, etc. And it's even just a matter of giving us even a couple of hour notice. As long as the room's available, you're more than welcome to come on in. And the rooms are fairly well equipped with what you would need for trainings. They have the access to the internet. We have amazing internet access at the library. Our speed is pretty good. So anytime you have a training or anything, and we never have to worry about not being able to get your training off and going. Okay, so Interlibrary Loans, Brain Fuse, El Portal, Overdrive, and Libby. These are all services that we offer through the New Mexico State Library. An ILL it's basically what you do is if you come in and there's a title you're looking for, we don't have it in our collection. We put out a request to other libraries across the country. If they have it, they'll lend it to us, and then in turn, we can lend it to our patrons. And so that it's a really convenient service to have because, I mean, obviously we don't have every single title. I wish we could, but we don't. But we can, 9 times out of 10, we can get whatever title you're looking for if we don't have it. Brain Fuse and El Portal, they are services that are offered through the New Mexico State Library. Brain Fuse is a service that it offers free online tutoring, live online tutoring for students of all ages, from down to kindergarten through college. You can go on to the site and you can chat live with a tutor. They also have a lot of cool resources as far as educational. You can do math games, you can do, say you have a paper due and you're having a hard time with the formatting, they can help you with the formatting and those kind of things. So Brain Fuse is very helpful for students, and it is a free service. We have El Portal, which is another service that they offer help with job search. They have resume templates on there that you can go on and just plug in your information to the resume. Chilton, which is automotive and mechanic information, and then Ancestry, all those kind of things are on El Portal, and those also are free through the New Mexico State Library and through the Grants Public Library. Overdrive is a program that, as long as you have a library card, you have access to thousands of ebooks, and an ebook is basically you listen to or you read it on a tablet, laptop, phone, whatever the case is. So with your library card, you can access Overdrive, and we're in a consortium, so any title that any library across the state of New Mexico owns, we share. So if we don't have it, you can still read it through a different library on Overdrive. The Libby app is just an extension too, so Libby, you just download that onto your phone, laptop, computer, whatever it is, and it's just instant access to Overdrive. So those are really convenient and really good to have. Children's programming. We do field trips, story times, crafts, activities, games, puzzles, learning tablets. We very recently started adding like manipulatives. We have a sensory nook and that we just added for the younger kids, and then we do reading challenges. In the last few months, we've been doing a lot of field trips for the schools. We've had like 579 students that have visited us for field trips that have done projects and crafts in the last 3 months. Our summer reading program is due to start June 1st, and it runs through July 31st. In our summer reading program, we will be having story times on Mondays at the library, crafts, in-person crafts on Wednesdays, and then once a month, the first Friday of the month, we're going to be showing a movie, and then they'll have some snacks that they can enjoy too. We'll also be putting together packets that they can take home if they want to do them at home. If they want to just have crafts to do at home, they'll do. And in those packets, we'll have projects, and we'll also do some healthy snack ideas that they can do at home with the parents and the kids, and just make some healthy snacks. And they're going to be themed. This year's summer reading program is Oceans of Possibilities. So everything that we do is going to be dealing with the ocean and ocean life and those kind of things. So we're excited about it. We have about 63 people registered, or children registered as of yet, for our summer reading program. So we're getting there. We're doing good. Community outreach and events. At the start of the pandemic, we realized that there were a lot of resources unavailable to those who were in need, so we started a free sharing closet as a curbside service for the community, offering clothing. personal hygiene items, blankets, pet supplies, and diapers. We also added a food pantry, which offers non-perishable goods, and we are still, at this time, we're still offering that as a service to the community. So if there's anybody in need, and I mean, it's for anybody. If you guys want to stop by, you're more than welcome to stop by and pick up whatever there is out there. We have, we've been lucky enough that we've had some, the community that does donate to us, and that's been very helpful. So that's been able to that's how we've been able to keep the pantry and the sharing closet going. And it's been very successful. We have people who stop by, you know, we have our faithfuls who stop by all the time, and then we have people daily that are there. We have it curbside outside of the library on the directionally challenged, so on the first street side of our building, it is curbside out there. So anybody is welcome to stop by, go through, find what you need, and if you want to donate, you're welcome to do that as well. Just give us a call. One of our staff can come out and pick up the donations if you would like us to. Or you can bring it on in, because we are open. Community events, we have teamed up with several departments and local businesses to offer community events, including, we've done a Christmas cruise, trunk or treats, haunted golf, Christmas village, scavenger hunts. We partnered with CYFD this a couple weekends ago and did the child abuse awareness event, and then we partner with the rec department quite often to do fun runs. We try really hard. We're trying to turn the library into a community. We want it to be the hub. We want people to go to the library and feel comfortable there, and we want it to be a place that people want to be. You know, there's that old adage of you go into the library and everybody just shush. You know, when parents come in and they tell their kids, you're in the library, you can't talk. I'm like, please don't do that, because kids aren't going to want to come back if they're not allowed to have fun. So when they come in, we kind of encourage them to explore and touch, and that's why we did the sensory nook, and we have puzzles out for kids to play with, and we want it to be a hands-on fun experience, because in my mind, if we don't get the kids when they're here, it's going to be kind of hard to get them when they're here. So we want that love of reading and the desire to be in the library, we want to embed it in them when they're littles, so that they can know that a library is a good place to be, a fun place to be, a safe place to be. We've hosted a lot of book signings, a couple of book signings we've done for local authors, and then we've teamed with GCCS, and we've held events with GCCS. We recently teamed with them and did a Kinderfest, which was so much fun because those kindergartners are a blast. And then we do blood drives, and we've had Explora come by a few times with their Wonder Bus. So, you know, I know a lot, I've heard some people have kind of been like, well, you know, what about the adults? And I agree, we're looking at adult programming as well, but like I said, I think we need to get them when they're little so that we don't have to try to drag them in as adults. They already have the desire to be there. So that's kind of where we're hoping we can get it soon. Whoops, and then I went all the way. Public access computers. We do have public access computers that are available to the community for job applications, job searches, benefit renewals, Social Security, income tax info, resumes, preparation, or any other essential need that they may have. We also offer free Wi-Fi, and our Wi-Fi can be accessed in the parking lot or the courtyard 24 hours a day. And then the Wi-Fi that's available outside 24 hours a day, that one is a Community Connect Wi-Fi that we partnered with during the pandemic. Everybody was having a hard time getting wireless, of course. So we partnered with them, and we were able to get to a couple of routers that offer free Wi-Fi. So we have that Wi-Fi for them, and then we also have the Grants Public Library Wi-Fi during regular business hours that anybody can connect to inside of the library or in the courtyard, and that's available during our regular business hours. It's really important that our Wi-Fi is available. Our reading room, during the closing, we made sure that our reading room was available for students who had to have online learning and did not have computers or access at home. So that reading room was always open to students to come in, and they could sit in there throughout the entire day and work on their online learning, which we thought was important because, you know, we would come out and sometimes we'd see people at the park, and, you know, it was either hotter than heck or colder than heck, and we had the facility. Why are they sitting out in the park when they could be sitting in a warm building or a cool building? So we always made it a point to make sure that that access was available, and we continue to do that still. And last but not least, I want to take a minute to acknowledge my amazing staff, because without my amazing staff, where would I be? So we have Miss Nita Ford. Nita Ford has worked with the library. She just celebrated her 44th anniversary with the library.
Wow.
So yes, she is a fixture, and she is something that, I thank God that I have her, and I dread the day that she decides she's ready to call it quits. Miss Lydia Trujillo has been with the library now going on 5 years. She takes care of mostly our circulation of our books, any new materials that we get in. Lydia is in charge of getting those processed and into circulation so they can get checked out as soon as possible. We have Sippy Lopez, who is our custodial, but he does so much more than that. He works very hard and keeps the library very clean. We always get compliments on how clean the library is, so big thank you to him. Rihanna Trujillo is our newest employee. She just started with us, but she fits in perfectly. She's kind of like the glove that, that just fit. And then we have Timothy Thomas, who, having that mail around just makes everything feel a little more secure. But he's the gentle giant. Sometimes we joke because we say, when it comes down to it, usually Tim is the more timid one, so either Rihanna or myself have to kind of go in. But just sometimes the mail presence makes things feel a little bit better. So this is my amazing staff, and I'm so thankful for them. But I would like to invite everybody, just take time to come and visit us at the library. Just come and see what we have. Even if you guys want to just come and hang out for a while, get out of the hustle and bustle and craziness, you're welcome to come on in, enjoy some quiet, enjoy some, and just stop by. You'd be amazed on how many people have recently been coming in after the pandemic and we started reopening. People have said over and over, "This is the first time I've ever been here. I've never been in the library. I've never," but the good part about it is we see them again. So they came the one time, and 9 times out of 10, they end up coming back. So is there any questions that anybody may have?
Comments from the council?
Good job. I grew up in
And I want to take time to thank you. Ms. Michael has volunteered. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I mean, we depend a lot on volunteers, and it makes things a lot smoother for us. So thank you.
Nadine, I do want to say thank you very much. Between you and your husband are a power couple right now with, what you guys do for our kids, and, it sounds like you've been in education a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But other than that, all seriousness, if I go, will I get shushed?
No.
No. But thank you very much. It's to see all that. I've been in there before, and I haven't been there as much as I should, taking my kids and been there, but I see and hear many good things from there, and it's awesome to see. So
Yeah, your sister goes in with the baby a lot.
I have unpaid dues, so I can't go.
And she takes your baby, too, yeah. Well, I will have to charge you, though.
You owe $5,000.
But the book's only $5.
Nadine, thank you to you and your staff. The library is a place for the public to go to do a lot of cool stuff, and it's just not just reading books. You offer a variety of things someone can find something to do there, and it's educational, it's fun. With the fun runs that you help with the rec center, the last weekend or a couple weeks ago was a very good turnout. You guys teamed up with CYFD. It was really cool to see a lot of kid faces there. There was a lot of kids doing actually the fun run, and but more good things to come. Council, there's going to be at some point in time, go down there to the library and talk to Nadine, because we have an empty space next door, and what I would like to see is more of a convention center type, so we can hold weddings here, whatever it is, parties, so people don't have to go out of town. Maybe it's a commercial kitchen type place or we can close it off where businesses can rent it out for their big functions, and then they could go golf afterwards. But I think our community needs a place. I know we do have like the Knights of Columbus, but I hear the Elks Lodge is kind of I don't think that one's changing. And then, so I think maybe taking a real hard look at the next, there is a plan that Laura, the past city manager, actually started that. And there is a plan in place, so if you guys look at it and talk to Nadine, I know she has dreams of that place too, so give her some, your input, but I think a convention center would be cool, so we can try to get that on some kind of capital outlay program. Thank you, Nadine.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful evening.
All right, discussion and presentation of the. I need to, for which one?
Just a presentation.
No, that was just a presentation.
A Rugged West.
Yep, discussion presentation of the 2022 Rugged West update event. Hello, hello.
Good evening. There it is.
Good evening.
Hello, hello.
How are
Good evening.
everybody tonight? Good. A lot of people. It's nice. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. So first of all, I just want to let you all know that we had a Chamber of Commerce meeting today, and as an executive director, and I'm considering myself a new executive director because when I first started, there was nothing going on. It was COVID. But I have an amazing leadership team in the new Chamber of Commerce membership, and I'm talking about the board members. We had an exciting meeting today. 3 of our new members that'll be joining us in July, which was Jessica Thompson. We had Glenn Martinez, and we also had invited Rosie Morales from State Farm. So they were there today, and the excitement was there. Some of it from planning this event, but realizing what you can do when you've got a solid leadership above. I'm feeling excited about everything. I want to say there's been a lot of hard work going into this. We have a large committee that works with us, a startup committee. We have a breakout committee that happens to be myself, Don Jaramillo, and Carrie, and that's where we get down to what we can do, what we need to wait, and grow this thing into next year. And then, of course, the final thing is for Carrie to bring those things to the Chamber of Commerce Board for approval. And so we're trying to be very cautious and manage the money, and then also come and give you guys an exciting report at the council. So I'm going to pass it on. Again, we can't do it without our Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, and a lot of them are here tonight. It's the strength that I need as an executive director. It's the team I need, and so far this year, they have been behind me on on 2 events where it took all of us to put that work in place and get it done. And so I'm really, really excited to see with the volunteers that we have stepping up and wanting to work with Carrie and our Chamber of Commerce for this event. It's becoming very exciting. So again, I'm excited to present with Carrie tonight. I'm going to pass this on to her. She put together a PowerPoint presentation. I want to let her just tell you all about it. And again, thank you. Without all of your support, obviously, we couldn't do what we're doing either. Leadership is the biggest thing for our community right now, and what we all need to do is have that solid leadership so we can keep doing what we're doing. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for having us here. I have a PowerPoint presentation I'll kind of go through, and also I'm going to read through a post that I posted up earlier today that gives the basics on everything, basically where we are. And let me start with this photo that's up there. There's going to be about 3 photos, and these photos were taken courtesy of actually somebody that lives here locally in Grants. That's her UTV, and she's donated those photos over to us to use for some marketing. We've manipulated them a little bit and made them look super cool. Let's go to the next one. This is the second one. This is the one you might see actually out on a billboard. We're looking at coming from Albuquerque, possibly. We're still kind of working on that. The next one, this is our third one. So these 3 ads you'll see pretty much social media blasts, billboards, posters, flyers, and hopefully T-shirts here soon. The date for this event will be September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, 2022. That will be Labor Day weekend. The objective, and pardon me, I'm just going to read everything I wrote here. The objective is to encourage growth in our community by creating an event that is specific to our existing landscape. Utilizing scenic attractions like Mount Taylor, the Zuni Mountains, Blue Water Lake, and national monuments like La Ventana Arch, Sandstone Bluffs, ice caves, and the Bandera volcano to create an impactful experience that brings UTV riders, 4x4 enthusiasts, and guests to our community, not just for a weekend event, but all year long. We want to showcase what we have to offer here. Let them come and visit, let them stay, let them spend their money here in Grants. We will capitalize on the beauty around us in efforts to keep our economy strong. Excuse me. The opportunity, our community should look at this as an event, should look at this event as an opportunity to showcase exactly what it is that sets us apart from other communities. For example, number one, riders can legally and responsibly drive their UTVs in and around our town. Number two, only 15 minutes in almost any direction will get you to a completely different terrain. Mountain, sandstone, lake, forest, etc. Number three, our local cuisine, our local handmade jewelry, our winery and breweries, our local artists. Number four, our outstanding bike, UTV, and hiking trails. Number five, our well-known golf course, the Coyote del Malpais Golf Course. Number six, our history/mining museums and national monuments. And number seven, our famous and historic Route 66 on and off-road adventures. There's so much more that pretty much is in our area. We want to highlight those things for this event. Let me move to the next. This is a map of the area that we're planning to hold the event. Downtown Grants will feature plenty of entertainment, activities, and fun for the entire family. City Hall Park, if you look, can everybody see it? I'm in the back as well. Fire and Ice Park is up on the left. The middle park is going to be, that's our City Hall Park, and then to the right, you'll see the Chamber of Commerce. We're pretty much going to utilize most of that area. If I need to kind of spread out a little bit, I guess we could do that, but I'm going to try and fill that entire area. We come back to, we want to fill that with thrill rides. Come to, this is a picture of the zip line. Zip line runs about 300 feet. We've actually, I'm going to come back to this other screen. We've actually looked at putting that right in front of the Chamber of Commerce building, right in the middle of that road, which will be blocked off, and running it all the way over to where the neon drive-up sign is. So it'll go all the way across the park, not really over that waterfall, but right past the caboose, right over the park, right over everybody in the park. Let me skip ahead again. This is called a Gyro Extreme. Super fun ride. You'll see that at the State Fair, the Balloon Fiesta. That's another thrill ride. And moving forward, this is called Walk on Water. Kids get in these aired up balls, and they, adults too, Brenda said. I feel like I wouldn't fit in that, but that's another story. So they get in for about 5 minutes. They kind of bumper cars into each other. That's actually one of the big attractions. That's going to be, I think, one of our busiest areas. And let me come back to my little map here. Planning on putting that right at the T, right in front of the chamber where the two roads connect, where City Hall is. That way the drainage for that water can kind of flow down into where water would drain if it's in the road. The drainage ditch, I don't know what it's called. All right, moving on. Let me move forward. All right, this is one of the water slides that will be available. That's probably, I think that's the biggest one. And then this is the T-Rex. Those stand about 30 feet high. All right, inflatable obstacle courses. So this one I loved because it was a pirate. It kind of just goes with our community. We'll put that right on the corner where the chamber is, so it's visible right from passerby on Santa Fe Avenue. I lost my place here. Let's keep going. This is a toddler's obstacle course, not just a little jump house, but actual obstacles inside. Moving on to the next, this is the Bungee Trampoline. So let me look at my note here. I want to say this goes up to 30 feet high. So those jumpers are going to be jumping to about 30 feet high. All right, that'll go in the road also, away from power lines and trees, obviously. All right, that's a bungee trampoline. Then we've got a little bit more for the kids zone area that I didn't write up. Fire and Ice Park will rock out with DJ Malik and Sean Brooks. DJ Malik will be working all Friday, all Saturday, a majority of Sunday. Sean Brooks will be featured on Friday night, and then the Stilettos, Tommy Price and the Stilettos will play on Saturday night. That, again, will be featured at Fire and Ice Park. A large beer garden with a VIP area will be provided, along with 2 dance floors. This is where I was hoping, I just put that up for a visual. That's the feel that I kind of wanted to have downtown. Bring your blanket, bring your family, hang out in the grass, watch the entertainment, and then, of course, the dunk tank, which is always fun. All right, glow-in-the-dark foam party. The foam party that'll happen at night, and that will be, again, glow-in-the-dark. There's a bunch of light shows kind of going on while this happens, while the bands are playing, and it'll be off to the right in a little corner of the park so that not everybody gets sprayed with this. All right. Other weekend activities include the Stereo Wars competition. I posted this last time. Cornhole tournament, evening show and glow. That's what that would look like. We can't wait until we do this event, and then we can show our own photos from our event for next year. Our Labor Day UTV parade, movie in the park, Sunday morning church in the park, and so much more. All right, let me move to my next page. All right, the pad, where everyone's going to stay. Grants has plenty of options for lodging. You can book a room at one of our hotels for the weekend. You can reserve a spot at one of our local campgrounds, or you can utilize designated areas available for dry camping for the holiday weekend. The obstacle course, let me get to that. This is a map of the area that would be in. So if you're looking to the left, you can see, actually, let me figure this out. That's going to be left.
Right.
The far left road is going to be Sacaleras. And then if you look down where you see it kind of cross on the very bottom left, that's going to be Route 66. All right, so let me see how to describe this. You can see the big building, which is what was the old tomato plant? I think it was a tomato plant. Just down from that, there's like a little white area. I don't know how to describe where that is. Eric, would you help me with this? Yeah, right there. So we're thinking about the size of a football field, right there, away from where it's kind of, where that water had kind of drained before and where those salt cedars are growing. But about the size, thank you, about the size of a football field. And I put a couple of pictures so you could kind of get an idea of what we hope for it to look like. The large piece of property that has been awaiting its true calling, the Rugged West Obstacle Course. The muddiest pits and the most challenging climbs will determine who will be named champion in our timed race. Hopefully, construction will begin on this over the next couple of weeks. the endless possibilities and money-making ventures, the Rugged West event is sure to bring a large crowd. It is strongly encouraged that our entire community get involved as we host guests and enthusiasts from all over the U.S. and abroad. How can you get your business involved? We are currently taking sponsor and vendor applications for this event, but if you're a business owner and you're not sure how you want to get involved, you can contact me, message me, however you like, and I'll get in contact with you. We need volunteers also. If you're interested in becoming a volunteer for this event, please reach out, and I'll also contact you for that as well. Our community is a hidden gem. Let's put on a quality event this year and share it with the entire world. And then I made myself a note that I wanted to make sure that everyone understood. We are fully aware of the forest restrictions right now, and in the next 2.5 months or so, if those restrictions are still in place, we will follow those exactly as we need to and continue on with our event downtown. So, does anyone have any questions or anything I can answer? Or Brenda?
Comments from the council?
So the permits, you have all the permits and everything in place needed for this?
Everything we need up until this point, we are working with Shannon on that. Yes.
And the event's insured?
Event.
The event insurance cannot be, the policy I cannot receive until right before the event, but the Chamber of Commerce has already reached out and we're prepared to insure the event. Yes, thank you.
And Eric's going to be in the dunk tank?
All day long.
Thank you.
I'll do it.
Maybe all of you?
Take turns?
I'll do
I
it.
think elected officials tend to bring in a lot of money to those things, you know, if you sit up there, so.
I've done it at school, and they'll be glad to dunk me again.
Call all those kids down. Let them know you're going to be there. Yeah.
I'll do it.
Anything else from the council?
Very cool. This is, I don't know, just cool.
It's very
What else is there?
exciting. Our heart's in it. And I believe that's where it sometimes starts, is when you have the heart to make things happen, then good things happen. There's a lot of hard work. You're welcome to come to chamber meetings and set in any time to listen to what's going on with us. We've got a lot of work coming up. We are going to be having a Chamber of Commerce planning session and retreat in July. That's when we're going to kick off all of our new packets for our membership. We're new, we're excited, and we're going to try and really get this town moving through businesses, through the Chamber of Commerce, and obviously through our governing bodies. Without all that, things don't come together. And so we're working hard. If you have anything you'd like us to address with the board as we move towards our planning and strategic planning, obviously send me information because I'd love to share it at our strategic planning meeting that we've planned in July on the 22nd and 23rd. That's the opportunity for our board of directors with our new members of the board to come together and decide the direction we want to move as the Chamber of Commerce for the City of Grants and the county. And our outreach is the county. And so we're really working on that strategy as well. We want to include the county businesses all over. So we're looking at satellite Chamber of Commerce that drops into the different locations. And we got a lot of good plans. So I invite you to come visit with us. Get the list of who's on our web page just went up today. So you're going to start seeing who's on our board, who's serving, all that good stuff is happening. So anytime, call me, come meet with us, come talk to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think your guys' event is pretty unique, and I continue driving forward and make this the best thing ever, because you guys are, I don't think I've seen anything like this in New Mexico just yet. So I think you guys you're onto something. So hopefully this can be real successful, because I can see this happening every year after this. So good luck to you guys, and keep driving.
Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all, and let's keep working together, all of us. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thanks.
All right, what do we got? We're on number 6, discussion presentation, ready, set, go, fire, county fire marshal. Who is taking this one? Mr. Littleton? Yeah. Is he back there? Yes.
Good evening, Mayor.
Hello, sir.
Good evening.
Manager has asked me to come and kind of do a little brief overview of what the Ready, Set, Go program is. About 3 weeks ago, we sat down with all of our key officials, the managers, the chiefs of police, and the fire departments, and kind of discussed this. This is a program that is nationwide. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of it on the news lately with the big fires up north where they're going into ready, set, and go statuses. I think this thing's working.
You got a little closer, a little closer.
I ain't gonna hold it that close. So, basically, this map here is from 2017. It kind of shows all of the communities that are involved in this nationwide program. You have to sign up for it, so our agency has signed up so we can start tracking our hours as far as community service towards wildland firefighting. So this includes passing out the brochures and stuff like that. So we're hoping we'll be on that map here eventually. So as many know, Cibola County is surrounded by forested lands. We have U.S. Forest Service, BLM, and National Park. With that creates a lot of what we call wildland urban interfaces. It's where the houses are mingled in between the forested lands. We call it WUI for short. So with that, just a few of them would be like Lobo Canyon, La Jara Subdivision, El Moro Ranches, San Mateo, San Fidel. Those are just a few of them that I've noted on here. In the last 5 years, we've had over 284 wildland incidents in and around or within Cibola County. Today, we're above 20 to date since the beginning of the year. So what this is it's trying to create a theory of adapted communities to the fire threat. So it's collaborative efforts at the community level. We talk a lot about that within our CWPP, which is the Community Wildfire Protection Plan, which we just redrew 2 years ago, I believe. This kind of helps provide those tools and resources to the community of what they can do to protect their homes or help us protect their homes. So there's a couple of websites. The IAFC.org is the one that primarily sponsors this program. It's funded through grants. We also have it up on our website, the Cibola County website. If you go to our site, you'll see a little ticket at the bottom. Click on that. All this information is available on there. So what this program primarily does is it kind of intermingles the responsibilities between the communities and our fire departments. It kind of talks about what they need to do to prep their homes and then what we have to do to protect those homes. So it gives us those steps to work together. Give strategies to address wildland fire impacts on developed property. So one of the things we're trying to do is reduce the potential for fire intensity at that location. The vegetation, the dead and down, the dying, and it reduces the structural ignitability. During wildfires, especially the bigger ones, they create their own weather, and they can throw embers and sparks hundreds of miles. So one of the things is the dead branches and pine litter on top of your roof. You might want to remove that. But there's checklists in there and things that the community can follow. So one of them is your defensible space. There's 3 different zones that they recommend. You have zone 1, which is up close to the house. I think it's within 5 feet. And then it progressively goes out to 100 feet. We talk about making your defensible space, your home ignition zones, which is usually right at the house, and then you start working outward from there. This is a prime example of your ignitable materials on the roof. Ember fires can destroy homes or neighborhoods far from the actual flame front. So during this fire, we actually have one of our employees who had lost his home. It was a ground fire, came and took it out. Well, it went up a little further and just wiped out his mom's home too, which was an aerial fire. So some of the strategies that we're looking at is in this picture. You can see the wood pile is far enough away from the home. They want it, at least 30 feet away, especially during the summertime. You probably don't want that right up at your doorstep. Cluster of trees, start thinning them out. It will help us be able to protect that home a little better. Maintenance is very important, you know, clearing all the brush and leaves, dead leaves out from underneath the porch. It's pretty good. So what does it mean to be set? So one of the things that we're really stressing on is situational awareness. Now, if we're working a fire, especially a big fire with the U.S. Forest Service, BLM, and or national parks, we're going to be right in there trying to help out as much as we can. In that, we'll try to push out the updates and everything to the community. We have a designated PIO now at the county, which is our government relations officer, Judy Harasic. So most of our information will flow through her out to the public. The responsibility. So with that, my agencies are primarily volunteer. So I have to rely on people from those specific little districts to come and help out. So we're kind of doing an all-in-one, let's everybody go, let's send the cavalry to go stop this. If we need more, then we'll pull in more. Hopefully we'll have everybody there that's available to respond. So volunteers are a crucial portion in our response, ability to respond. Local methods of emergency communication. One of the things we're really trying to push is Code Red. Code Red is, we have the capability to override phones like they do for Amber Alerts, things of that nature, so we can send those alerts out for the evacuations. The ready is set and go. And they're proving that to work really well up in the northern areas during these fires. Another thing too is we sent out brochures with the electric bills. In that there's a phone number down there to call our dispatch center. So if you know of anybody or anybody in those outlying areas that may be O2 dependent, may need lift assistance, that are on special needs, things of that nature, get that information over to our dispatch center. Then they will tag that address. Excuse me. They will tag that address so that if we have to go in, we'll already have a heads up on what we need to do. If we need to bring in a bus, if we need to bring in an ambulance, whatever, we can get the proper equipment and personnel together to deal with it. That number is on the bottom of that flyer. To be set, so prepare a go kit, include emergency supplies, your important documents. Again, all of this is pretty much lined out in the guide. We're going to start going door to door with our outerline communities and trying to hand these out and see kind of where we're going to impact. Create your own action plan. So plan and practice multiple exit routes from your home and your neighborhood. Now I know in some of our areas it's kind of difficult to do because we have maybe 1 or 2 ways in and out. Well, it's going to be dependent on where that situation is, which way we're going to try to get you guys to come out. So if you develop your own and you just don't feel comfortable sitting there, there's nothing to say you can't leave that area. Assign a meeting place in case you're separated, and be familiar with your local notification system. That's part of what we have with the Code Red. Evacuation systems, we have a way of doing it, but we can't plan for everything. So it's going to be dependent on the situation, where we're going to set up shelters, the evacuation routes. That's all going to be dependent on the situation at hand. So what does it mean to go? Okay, so when we give the order to go, it's a local issue. No one else can really determine that but the locals. It's going to be different for various residents, so the actions you take, if you have to drive, take a two-wheeler and run up a mountainside to get out of there, and that's going to be dependent on where they live. Education and situational understanding are the key. That's kind of where we're going at right now, is we're trying to get this information out to our public and get them thinking about, okay, we're into that season now, and it's not a case of if it's going to happen, it's a case of when it's going to happen. Well, we've been, 32, we're in the 32nd driest season so far, or drought. So fire management plans are good tools, again, with our local Forest Service and so forth. They have tried, but they missed their window this year, which we're glad they did because of the current situations. Our weather is so bipolar right now that it's up and down, you can't hit or miss. Okay, so what you can do as a wildland threatens, remain alert and keep informed. get your go kit ready, and leave the threatened area. If you don't want to wait for us to give you the go order, you can go at any given time. Cooperate with local authorities during the evacuation and reentry processes. Again, we have more information on our website. Also, the State Forestry website offers the same program and more information there. I'm not reading the disclaimer. I stand for questions.
Questions from the council?
Yes, the correctional facility sits right at the foot there of Lobo Canyon. Do you coordinate with them an evacuation plan?
They have pretty much run their own boat there. We've tried to reach out to them and work with them, but they're kind of on their own. If we have to, we'll pull in school buses or whatever we have to help the law enforcement side that I can't really touch.
Right. The other question I got concerning the fireworks, your recommendations on banning fireworks within the city limits. I know you're the county fire marshal. Maybe our local fire chief would have some input into that, Mr. Mayor.
If I may interject, when it comes to fireworks, there are some laws that we cannot touch. We have tried to put it through to restrict the use of certain fireworks, but we cannot restrict the sale of. So that's a higher up than me rule. But we are trying to interject our ordinance, because you got to do it 20 days before the actual event. So we are already in the process of trying to do ours to limit the type of fireworks being used, like aerials, and put it mostly to ground stuff.
And when you say we, that's the county?
The county.
Would that affect the city? Because I know the village, I talked to Mayor Gonzalez today, he said they put a firework ban in effect today.
That was part of their burn ban ordinance originally stated, so I don't know exactly how that one's working. I do know that every year that we go to do it, we have to do it, again, the 20 days before, and it's only good for, I think, 30 days. And then you've really got to play to extend that out beyond. So that's kind of a touchy subject.
Right. Public safety or economics. Mr. Mayor, we might need to look at a special session, or even an emergency session.
Yes, we definitely need to look at this, because I know the firework people are looking to wanting to purchase their fireworks. So, I mean, I know there's some laws, like you say, Mr. Littleton, that you can't ban everything, because, the aerials you probably can, but your ground ones, there's a certain law.
Yeah,
Is it
Mr. Hayes, is he here? Robert Hayes?
Mr. Hayes
Where's
is
he at?
hiding. He just ran out.
I need some insight.
Yeah, there we go. Well, we have a fire chief and a lawyer, so we're gonna get some stuff done.
So obviously there's much concern. What we would have to do is call a special meeting next week, whatever you guys want to decide here, but obviously there's much concern.
Well,
Hi, Chief.
Mayor, the state has a list of things that are banned, and they try and keep all the vendors from selling those, but some folks get around it. I'd like to see us try and ban the sale of fireworks, because it is so dry here in the community. Some folks will buy them here and take them up in the forestry and other areas, and that's where we have the problem, and it's just a double-edged sword either way we look. I got a call today, and they asked if we're going to ban fireworks, and I said, I don't know, because he wanted to purchase them today. I said, I can't tell you yes or no unless someone above me tells me yes or no. And as far as I'm concerned, I would like to see us ban them, but I'm just one person, and that's my recommendation.
Are you saying all of them? Are you saying all of them?
All of them,
blanket?
yes, sir. I say all of them, because folks love to see what they do, and they don't know where they go. We find them on top of roofs, in bushes, after the fact. And they don't know where they go after they set them off. And that's the problem.
I thought I heard Dustin say you can't ban the sale of, but can we? Or-
This group can.
Okay.
You are the legislative body of this community. And if it's an emergency, an emergent event, I agree. Now the lawyer's gonna talk, see what they say.
She won't mind too.
Just saying, next time we have a fire, I'll call you to come help us.
I'll do my best. So there is a state statute that governs what fireworks can be banned from sales and which ones can't. Like both of you all have mentioned, the rule basically is that a locality can ban the sale of aerial fireworks and audible ground fireworks is the language that they use. A local body such as this one does have the legislative authority to pass a use ban, and then that enables the police agencies to kind of enforce those and stop people who are lighting fireworks illegally if they do obtain those aerial ones improperly. So there's some definite steps that this body can take to implement a ban or a use ban, and as a couple people have mentioned up here now, that would have to be at a special session or at least 20 days before whatever the event is. So I know the 4th of July is coming up, and that's going to be a big issue, so we need to make sure we stay on top of that going into the next couple of weeks.
I should note that we have the community fireworks show, of which we prepare for and water the grounds and take extra precautions with the fire trucks there. So I believe we will still plan on doing that.
The community, the big one at the golf course.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, I mean,
And we plan way ahead of time to make that a successful and safe event. Have the sprinklers on, have people on station, and keep the number of folks out of the area so that we can get to it or get away from it, whichever the case may be.
Yeah, no, they definitely scare me. I mean, because we have so much dry stuff and overgrown bushes, and I see it there on Santa Fe when you guys have to go fight and you guys can't get in there because of all the elm trees and the dried brush, and
Right,
that's on
and-
fire. I mean, it's dry, but we're overgrown. So
And today, Mayor, we are at our 22nd wildfire that we've had to put out was a few days ago. So now we've had 22 so far.
yeah, it's like that pyramid. You know, we're getting there because it's dry. All right, so I guess we'll arrange a special meeting and we'll discuss that. Put
so,
a notice here
yeah,
quick.
if you guys so wish, we could probably have a special meeting. We need to give 3 days notice?
Yes.
So we could put the notice out tomorrow and have a special meeting on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Now, does that cover, did you say like 30 days or something? It's like a 30-day window or something like that?
20-day window.
20-day window?
Yeah, 20 days to. I
Okay.
could probably do it loud enough, people will hear me. So it's a 20-day prior to the event to enact that ban. Then it'll hold for 30 days. Yes. Then if you want to go beyond that, you have to re-up it more or less.
And we're not even at a point in time where we could say, let's see how it goes, how Mother Nature goes, because,
We know how it's going to go.
yeah, we get a little bit of rain, we get a lot of rain after the 4th of July, but even still, it's just, even a month or 2 months in front, it's,
Solid before we'd even be able to.
absolutely.
So if we
And then we need
ban, can
boats.
we lift it if it rains?
Yes, yes, you sure can.
Okay, so that's what we'll do. We'll put that out, Fran, thank you, and then we'll give the 72-hour notice, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, appreciate
you.
your service and all you do, thank you. All right, Mr. Les Gaines, we are going to discuss presentation, recreation economy for rural communities.
We'll let her get fired up and going here, but thank you, Mayor, Councilman, staff, and honored guests. Thank you for having us tonight. Do you want this, do I need a microphone? Yes. Thank you all for letting us be here tonight. We're here to represent recreational economies for rural communities, but before we get started too far, James Glover, or Jim Glover, is here with me. He's backing up, he's helping, but he's executive director for Endeavor, but I don't think he has that hat on tonight. So he's going to change hats, and we'll let him visit here at the end, and we'll come up with a plan. But the goal is tonight is to cover some of the ideas so that you all, particularly the new people that are involved, are familiar with what this grant has done and what we have done to get this far. So in 2019, we applied for a grant, and we received this big grant that allowed us to assess our community and see what we had available. So at the very first meeting, well, first off, there were 170 applicants nationwide. So 170 different communities applied, and we ended up getting the grant, so we were real proud because, you know, we're like the top dogs. And we want to become a recreation, outdoor recreation center or destination. And then we worked at it. The very first meeting, of course, it was right in the middle of the COVID junk and all that stuff. You all know that. But we had 63 people attending. You can kind of see there's all our little smiling faces. A number of you in this room were involved in that. So if you were involved in that, raise your hand. What happened is that we established this grant, the money came in, and we met, and we came up with 4 different goals for the community. So what I would like to do is just spend a moment. You all have the full packet, don't you? Okay, so the teacher side of me is going to say, I'm going to take one of our goals, that would be shape our identity as an outdoor recreation destination, and I'll kind of show you or help you go through what that whole plan is, because for the audience, the plan is about this thick, and there's a bunch of papers, and it's good stuff, but it's pretty thick. But if you look up at the top, right there, it says, you'll look at the names of the committee that's up there. A number of those people have changed jobs and moved on and went to different occupations, whatever. So the goal tonight is when I get done, I hope you say, oh yeah, Les, this is great. We're excited, and we will plug people in those given areas because we need to move forward with this. This is a great plan. So like I said, shaping our identity as an outdoor recreation, we went through it for all 4 goals. There's our assets, things that work well, and our challenges and our barriers. The committee has already identified what we have and what the problems are. So we can look through those, and that's on page 9 of your action plan. You don't have to look at that, but that's to just give you an idea what it is. And it'll give you like some of our tremendous assets, you know, the rodeo ground, the improvements, the Cibola Trail Alliance. All of those things are things that are great, that are working in our community. So as we look at the action plan, we set up goals. Some of the goals is one would be to increase meaningful targeting marketing. And Jim will cover that in just a little bit. But we need one of the goals would be to have paper outlines, guides, maps, regional signage, branding, all of those things. That's one of our goals, which we all want to do. Then as we look at the different steps in it, it says what is important, why, and who benefits. What businesses are affected. How do we measure our success? What have we done and what haven't we done? We set up time frames, and our time frames. The reason I'm here tonight is because we're so far behind on our time frames. We kind of, we had so much turmoil and things were, the COVID, everything kind of messed us all up. And then we assigned, in this particular document, leading roles. So if you'll notice, all of you notice that Chris Royball's retired and went on. We need someone in those roles that people have changed since then. So we need, like, the city to say, hey, we're going to assign, Don's going to assign someone to help us go through this document and update it and make it alive and real for today. Does that make sense? Yeah, Don's going to do that. Don has been helping, and actually Brenda, Chad, Michael Brown is not here. Elaine Yarborough, she's somewhere. Raise your hand wherever she is. She's back there. We kind of have a rekindle the fire committee going to get this thing fired back up and get excited about it, where we're headed. So in the appendix at the end, it has all kinds of ideas how to move us forward, what we need to do, how we adapt the Continental Divide Trail, all of these different specific events and ideas to help us get to our destination. So all of the footwork's done. So if you remember when Obama was president, there was a famous term that said, is your project shovel ready? Do you remember that? So shovel ready, this is shovel ready. We have so much stuff that is shovel ready to do, and all the footwork's done. We just need to put some blood, sweat, and tears in it. So a couple of things I'd like to cover real fast, and I think this might have changed a little bit since then, but Anna Larson is doing our ArcGIS site. So that's a way of tracking and identifying different areas in our community, and you can kind of see that. I don't know if you guys can see it in the back, but those are different areas, and she's identifying those, but that's not the real reason I want to talk about it. I want to show you this next one. If it's the science of where things are. And in our culture today, the science of where is really important. And where you are, what you're doing, and how you're tracking it. A number of the athletes in the community and people involved with recreation use a program called Strava. So Strava tracks where you go. So you think Big Brother is alive. This is Big Brother, and you volunteer for it. And it knows wherever you go. So the Strava has a heat map, and within the heat map, it shows the most activity. So look up there, you can see, was there a laser on this little puppy? Yeah, you can see Grants right there in Albuquerque. So we have a lot of heat. So the heat is generated every time Donald Jaramillo turns Strava on and he walks the Colorado Divide Trail all the way to the top of Mount Taylor with his dogs and back. It records it, and it creates a heat map of how many people use that particular area. So that's an overview. I just kind of zoomed it in so you could see how much activity there is in the Albuquerque area. This is Moab. I'm sorry, this is Grants again. I'm sorry. You can see the white is the heated areas. That's more people, and then it gets darker and darker as time goes on. If you'll notice, this is Moab, just to give you an idea of how much more activity they have in their area than we do. We kind of want to emulate some of their ideas, not all of them, but some of them, so that we have more people spending money in the center of our town. So we've received different types of grants that support the recreational economies for rural community grants. So Megan Larson came in from the Headwaters, and she's doing research, and she's probably shot in the foot right now because the forest is closed. But she's coming and she's putting up trail tracking devices and will feed us data by the end of the year on how much activity we have in our area. So that's kind of exciting. That's part of what happened is when we received the grant, this is a follow-up from that grant. Does that make sense? Okay. So, what do we have? We've completed hundreds of hours of work in this thing. It's already been paid for. It's already completed. We have a roadmap of success in 4 core different areas. And so we know where we're going. We're on the map for state and federal agencies for much needed help. So during the meetings was the National Chamber of Commerce Director, the head of the EPA, people like that funded this. The big dogs that can funnel money to our community were involved in that. So we're already on the map. That's kind of exciting. Okay? So what we need from you is we need to say, yes, we need your support. We need to fill in all of those blanks. We need to rekindle this fire and get motivated and fired up. All the movers and shakers get rocking and rolling. But then I want to do a little plug for the Trail Alliance. On May 19th, we dedicated 20-plus miles of new trails in Lobo Canyon. About 75 people were attending there. Many of the people in this room were there. So we're glad you're here. We're glad you were there. But that trail is going to be with sweat equity, so we need help. So if you're an individual that wants to labor and shovel, we'd love to have that. If you're an individual that's a good writer, a good writer or editor, we need numbers people that can count and do accounting, which is horrible. Oh, no, it's not really, but somebody does it. We need GIS people, any type of talent. We need those type of people to volunteer. And not only for that, but for all different types of different activities within our community. So with that, I would like to end up and introduce Jim, and he is here to support. Actually, Evan plugged us in with a COG and helped us out a little bit with funding. And do you want to explain what you're going to do, Jim? Yes. And his lovely wife, Mary Ann, is here also.
Yeah, that's Mary Ann Tannenbaum, my business partner right there. Mary Ann, raise your hand.
Sorry,
Yeah.
did I false accuse you guys?
That's right. That's all right. Again, my name is Jim Glover, and Mr. Mayor and Council and everyone in the room, I'm very happy to be here. Usually when I'm in this area, I'm either hiking Mount Taylor or Zuni Yakima, so this is a privilege not to be sweating heavily and carrying gear and so forth. But we are consultants with Once a Day Marketing, and really our forte in the state of New Mexico is working with rural communities, helping them to develop outdoor recreation economies. That's what we love doing, and right now we're under contract with the city of Santa Fe, and thanks to Evan, we're also working with McKinley County and Aztec, and now Cibola grants. And what's exciting, and maybe you've been following, in the last couple of years, outdoor recreation has become a big deal in the state of New Mexico. If you think back to just 2004, our film industry was this big. Now our film industry is that big because the state decided to make it a priority, and that's the same thing they're doing with outdoor recreation now. And so this plan, the RERC plan, Other communities, like Santa Fe, are just trying to get their information together. You already have it. And so through this opportunity of working through the COG and your community, we will help guide this effort. We've been doing it for a while now. We're the ones that created the Outdoor Recreation Industry Initiative for Farmington, created the Jolt Your Journey brand for them. So when it comes to branding communities and creating an identity centered around what you have here, I always joke about Des Moines, like, I don't think they have the assets that we have in New Mexico. If they even tried to build their outdoor recreation economy, we have all those things. But the other thing I wanted to emphasize is oftentimes when people hear outdoor recreation, they think of the experiential side. And the event that was talked about today, that's so exciting because I think, as you said, Mr. Mayor, it could differentiate your community in regard to that. But also want to get you thinking about the other side of the equation related to outdoor recreation economy, and that's the job creation centered around it. So why aren't people in this community manufacturing the next mountain bike or kayak or tour operators, guides, and so forth? So we will be paying special attention to the economic development side because as we work with many communities throughout the state of New Mexico, youth want to stay in their communities, but they don't have opportunities. And so what we'll really be trying to emphasize is how do we proactively excite our kids about outdoor recreation, one, to get outdoors and enjoy it, because a lot of kids are indoors on their digital devices these days. And then once they have the good experience outdoors, how do we get them thinking about sustainable careers in outdoor recreation in your community? And so you are perfectly positioned to be able to take advantage of that, and that's why we're here. You'll get to know us. You'll probably go, oh, that's Jim guy again. You know, he's knocking on our doors. But as Les said, it really takes a community effort to work on it, and a lot of it is sweat equity, and just desire to build this. And I don't think there's a huge expense related to it. You have a lot of things in place already. It's just really managing it and moving that forward. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. So thank you so much. I'm excited to be here, excited to be working with this community moving forward.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome.
Thank you all. Any questions before you guys get onto your agenda?
Comments from the council?
I don't have any questions, but that's just seems, Les, that's awesome. Thank you very much. I think that position that needs to be filled, I think Les said he'd do it. Just kidding. No, but
We'll have to talk to Joel Stewart about that.
yeah, I know. But Les, just knowing you like my whole life, what you, Chad, your family, and you know the rest of you bring to this, it's awesome to see and to see this happening, because I know the process that you guys have spent the last 10 years, you know, just trying to get the trails going, and seeing that the other night was like, wow, you know, it made me feel guilty of not being there at all, but you know, it's going to be cool. It's going to be awesome to see.
It will.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being there, though. Any others?
Yeah, thank you, Les, and your team. Thank you, sir, for coming out. This outdoor recreation is, like he did say, that, you know, New Mexico is pushing, there's a lot of funding towards this way, and Mr. Gaines said that we are shovel-ready on a lot of stuff, so the trail system that they put up there with the 25-mile loop, that eventually when we get to build it, because they shut the mountain down, that's going to be big time for our community to start marketing that and bringing community to do horseback riding, mountain biking, running, hiking, spending time with their family, bringing GRT to our community, tying this in with the master trail plan, as Donald and I are working on with Wilson and Company and the COG to look for funding to start this process for the master trail that ties into the master drainage plan, as the mayor had. This is all starting to really come together, and it's exciting. You know, this is 10 years of really good growth if we do it right. Thank you. Okay, we're on number 8, discussion action items, resolution number 22-1759, Open Meetings Act, annual notice requirement.
Mayor, council.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm here to present to you Resolution 22-1759, Open Meetings Act Annual Notice Requirement. So this is actually old business. Council already approved to move the regular city council meetings to the last Wednesday of the month. The new Opens Meeting Act resolution does dictate that on letter A on page 1 on the bottom under regular meetings. It also states that we can have a workshop every month. It does not dictate what day, so we can have a meeting every month. I know you all wanted to have one the Wednesday prior to a regular city council meeting, but it's not set in stone, but, you know, just to let you guys know. So does anyone have any questions?
This basically starts next month, right?
Yes.
So the purpose of, so the addition under item A prior, is the workshop may be scheduled prior to the regular meeting to discuss agenda items. So just to elaborate on that, we are kind of meeting separately with Dawn.
Yes,
And so-
and that's just for, if we have a quorum, that's just to state that we're going to have a quorum. So if we want to meet all together, I have to make a public notice. And the public is also welcome to come to that work session. That's what that's for.
Great.
And this is where, like, no action items will be,
Yes, sir. No action items will take place.
Okay.
Council will not vote on nothing.
Yeah, actually, this meeting is a perfect example. The many presentations, or the 4 presentations that we just heard, those could happen at a work session rather than a regular council meeting, and we won't have to have such a regular council meeting. Those types of things will be at the work session to where no action is necessary.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, then I ask for approval for Resolution 22-1759, Open Meetings Act Annual Notice Requirement.
I'll make a motion, we pass resolution 22-1759.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call. Councilor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilor Michael?
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte?
Yes.
Councilor Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you. That will pass.
Thank you, Council.
All right. Okay, number 9, discussing action resolution number 22-1760, Robert Rules of Order.
Yes, Mayor, Council, I want to start doing this annually, just because it puts out publicly how we should run the meetings, the process. There's a process to it, there's a procedure. And this resolution basically focuses on the Robert's Rules of Order process. The Open Meetings Act references it, but this is in more detail. I stand for any questions. I would appreciate your support in approving this resolution.
What this is going to be is what we can do on the Roberts Rule, like on our work sessions, we can have some mocks of something so we can go by
Situation.
the situations of this Roberts Rule. This thing is... Anyways, we could do that at work session, so I think that'd be kind of fun to have, so we can be all on the same page. So, I need a motion, please.
I move to pass resolution 22-1760, Robert's Rules of Order.
Thank you, sir. Can I get a
Second.
second? Thank you, sir. Roll call. Councilor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilor Michael?
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte?
Yes.
Councilor Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you. That one will carry. Thank you. All right, now we're on action item number 10, largest tax funding, fiscal year 2022. We good? I'm sorry. Grants Chamber of Commerce recommendation, $150,000. Whoa, Scott.
I'm here. Good evening.
Wow, hello.
Mayor, City Council.
Wow.
We'll probably clear the room afterwards because they're all waiting to see if they're gonna- So, in front of you on action item number 10, we were, I approached the city manager and our finance director earlier before we came to the meeting to give out, and they conservatively told us we should give out $300,000 this year, so that's the amount, and now the asks that we're gonna go down is how we recommended to do them. So, if you guys look in front of you at discussion action item number 10, the first one on there, I believe, is the Grand Cibola Chamber of Commerce, and the recommendation is $150,500 for this fiscal year. Inside of that is the 4x4 event that you guys funded earlier in the year, so it'll already be in their next year's budget, and it won't be a separate ask like it was this year. And we broke them all out because in years past, you would only have one action item and weren't able to ask questions of any individual entity if you had any. So that's the first one that's up, is the Chamber of Commerce.
All right, we, any discussion on this one?
I just want to make a comment real quick, Mayor. Scott, I just wanted to apologize for you. I know you called me and texted me. I've been tied up for the last week, and so I hadn't had a chance to return any calls or anything, so
Well, what I was trying to do with you guys is if you had any questions ahead of time, like we had our meeting this morning, I could maybe get your answers before we even got to this point, so it didn't,
Yeah.
you know, I get you an answer
Thank you.
before we sit here and
Yep.
ask them, and then it's all kind of over with. But that's the only reason why I reached out to each one of you individually, is if you had a question on any of the asks that were in front of you for tonight's meeting that I could answer, I would try to answer it. But if you still have those now, feel free to answer the entities that are here of each one of these organizations.
And all these went through your board already and debated and everything there?
Back in April, and now we do this for you guys to get your budget in on time.
You guys had a meeting today, didn't you, or yesterday?
Yeah, that's just to pay the bills for the previous month
Oh, okay.
before. It was May, I think, we came up with these recommendations. I mean, yeah, the April meeting, we came up with these, and now this is the first time we get to present them to you before the budget.
Chamber of Commerce, 150,000, they do a pretty good job for our community. They have a lot of plans in their packet that they want to do for us, so I think they're doing a great job, so I need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion, we give the Chamber of Commerce $150,500.
I need a second.
Second.
Roll call. Councilor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilor Michael?
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte?
Yes.
Councilor Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you. That first one will pass.
Okay, so we'll move to discussion action item number 11, which is the Friends of the New Mexico Mining Museum and their recommendation now. And this all kind of changed, and Don will probably fill you in on that later, right, on your agreement with, their request this year is down because they're trying to, what would you call it, Don? Have a separate-
I was like, what are
I
you
mean,
talking
what would
about?
you know what I'm talking
You
about,
lost me.
because it was in their budget, but then they're gonna take it out because it's an agreement that the city has with
The state, yeah.
with the state to maintain that building. So part of that got taken out of their budget, but you guys will put it back in later in a different form.
Yeah, there's some expense that we're accountable for per the state contract, and that has been getting paid through lodgers tax funds, of which it shouldn't have. It's on a contract, so those expenses will be coming out of the general fund, of which we've added to the budget. So those expenses are included in this year's budget.
So this year, it looks like their ask is down, but their request for the New Mexico Mining Museum side this year is $25,000.
Comments from the council?
Oh, I wanted to make a comment, and I should have earlier, but with the lodger's tax and what was being requested, next time I will have question stuff. It's just this first time, it was just, I need some back information from Donald and Gloria of just kind of what was previously asked and stuff, so there's a better understanding of it now, and it's not like it's just up here and yes, yes, yes.
Well-
But just to know it just, next time I'll have.
Well, our end with you city councilors, we're just a recommendation board. So we
Absolutely.
actually encourage every one of these organizations to reach out to you guys as city
Absolutely.
councilors individually. But I thought if you see the packet and you have a question of anything, I could probably answer it real quick, but
And I
throughout the year.
and I
told them,
appreciate that, yeah.
If we don't do what you want, go tell them, this is what we want.
Absolutely, so thank you.
We can also watch or attend the meeting, because I watched your April meeting and saw your presentations for all of the requests. It was all online.
They can go back. yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
So, you're still
The ask is 25,000. The mining museum, they do a very good job at what they do, and I'm a miner for life, so I need a motion, please.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve lodgers tax funding FY 22-23 Friends of the New Mexico Mining Museum recommendation for $25,000.
Can I get a second, please?
A second.
Thank you. Roll call. Councilor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilor Michael?
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte?
Yes.
Councilor Garcia?
Yes.
That will carry. Thank you. 25,000.
Okay, so now you guys are on the number 12, which is the funding for the Grants Main Street project, and our recommendation this year was $10,000.
Comments from the council on Main Street?
Is that the same as last year?
They didn't do last year.
Remember?
No, last year they didn't have a packet together in time.
They didn't have a director.
They didn't have one this time either, did they?
They did
They
this
had
time.
one in
Did
time.
they? Yeah, yes.
Yes.
So last year, they didn't get nothing. Main Street's trying to rebuild itself and get out there and promote grants in their Main Street to try rebuilding it. Their ask is 10,000. I feel
That's,
like they're on a good track.
So that's lodgers tax funding. We've also had a discussion with them regarding their budget request. They put in,
Yes,
how much
that-
was that again?
That was 30,000.
30,000, okay.
That one is to help to find them a director.
And wasn't there a requirement that they have a physical building to be out of? Do they still have that?
They are out of the code enforcement's office now, which there's might be discussion
I think
of
it's
some
through
other
the
places.
state. Through the
Yeah.
state, they have to have a physical location.
Wasn't there discussion about possibly with the Cibola Arts Council?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. We could definitely talk about that. That's might be something where maybe if the entities could talk together with Donald, where the Cibola Arts Council is pretty unique, right? But they need more traffic flow. I feel like if there was actually Scott's idea to put both of them together because they're kind of serving the same thing, some tourism, maybe trying to find funding. The one building they're in, it's nice, or not nice, but it's just, I think they got thrown in there.
Right.
I think the Arts Council kind of makes it more of a attraction, you know? So it's a discussion for Donald to have with the community and their organizations, and I guess he can report back to us.
Yeah. Actually, I'll look into that this next month, and I'll give you an update.
Because we do own that building, that Arts Council building, so that's where, if they don't agree to it, I mean, it's just an idea. But I think it'd be a good one. So their ask is 10,000. Can I get a motion, please?
I'll make a motion that we award the Grants Main Street project $10,000.
Could I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call. Councilor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilor Michael?
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte?
Yes.
Councilor Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you. That will pass.
So the next request in front of you, I believe, is 13, which is the discussion of the funding for the Mount Taylor Quadratholon. The recommendation this year is $43,000.
Comments from the council? No? Mount Taylor Quad, it's been around a long time. I think they do they do a good event. I mean, it's one of those things where I really feel like the Rugged West people that come in, one of the biggest comments that they're gonna have is that our community is the best at volunteering for an event, coming together, because that's what the Quadratholon does. You're probably gonna see the same thing for the Rugged West. And the Quad has been doing a great job for 39 years, 37, 8 years, 34 years. 40 years, 40 years.
How long you been doing it, Terry?
40 years. 45 years.
He's fine.
But their ask is 43,000. I would like to get a motion, please.
I'll make a motion, Mayor, to accept the lodger's tax fund in FY 2022-23 for Mount Taylor Quadrathlon, recommendation of $43,000.
Can I get a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you, sir. Roll call. Councilor Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilor Michael.
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte.
Yes.
Councilor Garcia.
Yes.
Thank you. That one will pass.
So the next one in front of you is kind of in the same area of expertise. There is the lodgers tax fundings for the Cibola Trail Alliance, and their recommendation this year was $8,500.
You guys all know Cibola Trail Alliance are the ones that ramrodded the 25-mile loop that we're having up there. It's a great organization that's coming together. They really want to use this money to try to promote grants. They're pushing pretty hard for this outdoor recreation, so they're asking for $8,500. I need a motion, please.
Mr. Mayor, I will make a motion that we approve lodgers tax funding FY 22-23 for Cibola Trail Alliance, recommendation at $8,500.
Thank you, ma'am. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call, please. Councilor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilor Michael?
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte?
Yes.
Councilor Garcia, that one will...
Yes.
Oh, sorry. That one will pass. Sorry. Too fast.
So the next one on your list to look at is the you had it on 15, which is the Cibola County Historical Society in the museum. The recommendation is $7,500.
Comments from the council? Again, this is Cibola Historical Building. It's right there on the right side of us. They're trying to promote a lot. I know the chamber's working with them at maybe like a museum tour that maybe they can offer at some time or something.
They're currently, there's something interesting that they're doing, and Jackie Heath's here, but they received all the old Grants beacons, and they're trying to digitize all that. So
Yeah.
you could search through beacon history on a computer. I mean, it's gonna be, if they can get that done, that's gonna be a unique thing that we'll have here.
This one's gonna be a good idea, because I know there's been some people on, remember back when on Facebook with our Steve Brown and another couple others that have been doing a lot of stuff, blast from the past, and I just think our history in New Mexico and Grants itself is just, it's neat. Everyone doesn't, a lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of adults don't know the history of what we have
Jackie,
here.
are you hiding, are you working with UNM right now? No, we're not at the moment. Or were you?
No, we're working with them as far as who we're going to get to do the digitizing.
Okay.
That's what we're doing with them.
May become another cost in the future, but they do
This is a
have
good
all
idea.
the old beacons that they're trying to get digitized.
Just a note, that was a gift from Donald. Donald has it from 1940, when it started, all the way till now.
That's
And
great
that's
history.
that's pretty neat, because that's unique. Nobody has that, I believe, right?
We had the copies from 1946 to 2005.
Wow. Pretty cool. A lot happened in those times. A lot.
A lot of changes.
Yeah. All righty, their ask is, the historical, their ask is 7,500. I need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion that we give the Cibola County Historical Society the History Museum recommendation for $7,500.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I second.
Thank you. Roll call. Councilor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilor Michael?
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte?
Yes.
Councilor Garcia?
Yes.
That one will pass. Thank you.
The next one in front of you is action item 16, which is the lodger's tax funding request for this fiscal year 22-23 for the Aviation Heritage Museum. Their recommendation is $4,000.
Comments from the council?
Where is this at now? Do we have?
It's at the airport.
Is it at the airport?
You have to
Right at
visit
the
it. It's
T, when
cool.
you go down and you hit Airport Road.
I just haven't been at the airport since my uncle or my
That
dad flew.
museum in there?
I didn't know that.
At the airport? Yeah.
Steve
I heard
Owens,
that.
Steve Owens not here now, but he's,
We want to,
You should
He-
go see it.
I
It's
just being in
really
the school
nice.
system, that's one of those places that we could take field trips, and I've never heard of
they
it,
almost
so.
walk there.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Donald and I visited Lindy a few weeks ago, and there's, we're going to really look into it to help her clean it up, because it is really cool. I mean, the history of it, if you dig that kind of stuff, it's cool. It's a good way to educate our children on aviation and some of the old stuff, because history is, we have to teach our kids, because they're used to this. We got to learn of paper and pencil. We still have to teach them. And aviation is pretty cool.
And they get a lot of capital outlay funding, don't they?
Yes, yeah, Harry's he's helping us out quite a bit, Mr. Garcia,
Bring people to
representative.
planes, come
They're
check it
making
out.
a lot of improvements,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
it's gonna be another draw again to,
ma'am.
it's transportation, right?
Absolutely.
Come on in, fly in.
Absolutely.
So they're asking for $4,000. I need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to accept the lodger's tax funding FY 2022-23 for the New Mexico Aviation Heritage Museum recommendation of $4,000.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call. Councilor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilor Michael?
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte?
Yes.
Councilor Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you. That one will pass.
So the next one in front of you is the lodger's tax funding request for the fiscal year 22-23 to the Cibola Arts Council, and their recommendation is $5,000.
Comments from the council? Nope. Cibola,
No, just one. And so there's nothing proposed for this year? Does any of the information from past years of what
they've taken 5 from last year, right?
It's always, it's
up.
been.
Just but
Yeah,
advertisement?
it's been about the same. I think their asks for the last 3 or 4 years have been pretty
Same.
much in the same ballpark. Hasn't changed much.
Right.
Yep, Cibola Arts Council, that's another unique place that we need to capitalize on, trying to bring tourism, so they're doing their job to try to get that place up to par, and we just got to market it a little bit more and get some more people in town.
Mr. Gallego still there?
Yeah, Robert came to a meeting 2 meetings ago. He's pretty much, he's been the power behind that place for years. I mean,
I'll make a motion that we give the Civil Arts Council $5,000.
Thank you, I need a second.
Second.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, Councilor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilor Michael?
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte?
Yes.
Councilor Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you, that will pass.
So the next one in front of you is the action for the lodger's tax funding 22-23 for the Grants Rodeo Association. Their recommendation this year is $43,500.
Comments from the council?
This is a gem in our community that's going to be eventually in the future something even bigger than what we see now. So this one's going to be exciting to see.
I think the rodeo's been going about as long as the paper, hasn't it?
Where's the rodeo queen at?
At least.
There she is!
94 years.
94 years. She was
94 years
the
young,
first rodeo
Mayor.
queen. Lean way back, what? Eileen what? What's your nickname? Your rodeo queen nickname? Eileen way back.
Way back.
Thank you, Grandma Jamie. You're a jewel.
1936 rodeo queen in Pigeon Pooh, Montana.
Wow.
36 Pigeon Pooh, Montana.
Thank you, Ms. Holland.
And as I rescued Rena, he said, I want you to know that that lady is Jamie Holden from Grant State Bank. I was humiliated.
Jamie Holton from Grant State Bank. The rumor was that you had all the money in the bank when I was growing up.
I still thought that. But I do want to say, Ms. Holden, thank you very much. She partners up with our Ag in the Classroom Ag Day with Lava Soil and is gracious with, lending us the rodeo grounds for our kids and stuff, and something we're going to bring back for our students. So thank you.
Yeah, it's a big asset to our community.
We grew up at those rodeos and the dances every 4th of July, and it is something very,
Very special.
I had to go to the
Love it.
ranch. I couldn't go there.
absolutely. On that note, I would make a motion, Mr. Mayor, that we approve lodger's tax funding FY 22-23 Grants Rodeo Association, recommendation for $43,500.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I second.
Thank you. Roll call. Councilor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilor Michael?
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte?
Yes.
Councilor Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you. That one will pass.
And the last one in front of you is the lodger's tax request for the American Legion Riders, Chapter 18. And our recommendation on the event they'll have this year is for $3,000.
Is this the first time they ask?
No, they used to do it at the rodeo grounds, and I think they first started out doing real bulls or calves for their biker and bull thing, and now it's moved to, they have a mechanical bull, and it's in the parking lot of the American Legion here the same weekend as the bike rally used to be. So it'll be the 3rd weekend in July
Okay.
is when they put that on.
Motorcycle versus bulls.
Bikers versus bulls.
Oh, it says motorcycle
Mechanical
versus bulls on here.
Well, you can put a motorcycle on a bull, I don't.
Or vice versa.
No, I'm just reading the document you submitted, says motorcycle versus bulls is the name of the event.
Aaron Dean and the Leaders do a great job for our community, not just this event, but they're at all multiple events, and they support us pretty good. So they're asking for $3,000. I would like need a motion, please.
I move we approve the lodger's tax funding FY 22-23 American Legion Rider Chapter 18 recommendation $3,000.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call. Councilor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilor Michael?
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte?
Yes.
Councilor Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you. That will pass. Thank you, Scott, for your time. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
You getting cold? It's his turn. It's his turn.
Your turn, Don.
Do we need to stretch? Let's take a quick stretch. 2 hours, Donald.
2 hours, Donald, yeah.
We still have the budget to do. That's a big one. Are we allowed to take a bathroom break or no? Are we-
You're all right.
Okay. A motion to recess for 5 minutes?
Yeah, 28.
I would like to make a motion to recess just for 5 minutes. Oh,
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion, we recess for 5 minutes.
I second. Thank
and
you.
Return where we were at on the agenda.
Roll call. Councilor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilor I would like to, I need a motion to get the meeting called to order.
I'll make a motion to resume our meeting, starting with, back to where we're at with item 20.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Roll call. Counselor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Counselor Michael?
Yes.
Counselor Rodarte?
Yes.
Counselor Garcia? Thank you.
Yes.
It is 8:01. You have to do the time when you come back?
Good.
Oh.
Eight
I guess we never took a break, huh,
We
Donald?
never have.
Could have been bad.
Well, it was a good lesson. We had to, you had to make a motion. That's right. We covered it, yep. All righty. Here's the second half of football. Donald, you're up.
Boy, sure cleared out.
We need a motion.
Mayor, council, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Gloria and I have worked on the budget intensely. We are friends, but we're not friends. me and Gloria. No, actually, I appreciate her effort. She's been wonderful in this process. So anyway, we dove into the budget, line item by line item. Visited departments at first, and all of a sudden, Gloria told me, hey, no more visiting, no more, I need you 3 days in my office. So, like, I literally 3 days in my office, and literally 3 days in my office. So we crunched the numbers for 3 days, turned it to 5 days. Anyway, very intense process. I learned a lot through the process, just because, I mean, I'm a fairly new city manager, so it was very beneficial for me to go into the details of different operations, expenses. Anyway, at the end of the day, in front of you are options number 1 and 2. Number 1 is basically the current revenue, along with expenses that includes some different asks from a variety of departments, of which, so that's the high number. Option number 1, 34,977,000 and change. That's option number 1 in revenue. The expenses is 35 million, oh, I said 34,000, I'm sorry, 35,878,000. However, my recommendation is option number 2, which includes the asks from the different department heads, several of them that we felt most necessary. However, we crunched in some other areas. There were a variety of different dynamics that impacted our decisions. Like I said, I visited with you guys earlier, the mayor yesterday. We went into detail. I don't plan on going into detail now unless you guys want to voice some questions, voice some concerns. I'm here to answer them. Anyway, I'm asking your requests. My request is to approve option number 2 with the revenues of $34,977,214.68 and the expenses of $34,534,366.66. My request is that you approve resolution number 22-1767, which is approval of the interim FY23 budget.
Thank you, Donald.
Thank you.
So basically, it just adds up to trimming a little bit of the fat, right, Donald?
Yeah, we focused on getting some additional equipment. There's a lack of some quality equipment through a variety of departments. We made some adjustments and some inconsistencies in the wages, and we also increased across the board some wages just so we could be more competitive. When I first became city manager, we were advertising for some positions and not getting any interest. So obviously the pay was very low. We've done our best in improving that. Now, we're not paying thousands, it's not like it's a massive difference, but we're competitive now. We advertise for positions and we're getting a response. So that's the goal, is to hire good help. And it was troublesome to hire good help for poor pay, just to be honest. So we are paying our folks better salary-wise.
Comments from the council? I mean, take your time and, we can talk about this one. This is the budget.
No.
But you all had, I mean, you all talked to Donald, we all spent a few hours with him. We all know where we're going, but,
I do want to say thank you, Don and Gloria. Sorry, it feels weird, I always call you Ms. Pargas. For, just when you guys go over this, I know it's something that's pretty daunting at times. It's money, of course, but thank you guys for getting together and explaining it to us. I mean, I thank you for dumbing it down for myself, but no, I'd say thank you guys, because it's a lot of work to do this.
Just double checking the time frame. This is an interim. When is the final?
During the June meeting, the final budget is due June 30th, I believe.
That's right before the new fiscal year starts, right?
Correct, FY '23. So there will be some minor adjustments in the final. That'll go before you guys. I was going to say something else. Gloria and I are a pretty good balance because I'm a projects guy, so I'm talking spending money.
And she's
Gloria's
the
not
checkbook.
about spending money, so it's a good balance.
Quit talking about her.
Balance. Oh, jeez.
I look at her, she's pointing at you. There you go.
So those adjustments will probably be that beginning cash balance?
That's correct, because those cash balances are based on last year's cash balances. So at the end of the year, at the end of the fourth quarter, you'll see the ending cash balances, and then your final budget will show your beginning cash balances will match your ending cash balances.
Okay, thank you.
Just some information, last year's budget was around 22 something, I believe, and we did go up, but, throughout the year, our revenue has been going up, as Gloria indicates, every month, and our GRT and our water revenues, it is going up. So taking the money and doing what Don says by giving some more raises and being competitive in the job market, it gives us some, one, it helps the morale for sure, and then two, we can progress on getting grants into that next step. So it is more than last year, but we're starting to create some revenue, in our GRT and do some improvements. So you'll see down at the airport, cemetery, the golf course, those are enterprises funds where they need to be self-sustainable at some point in time. And the big concern has always been the golf course. And Donald and his team have been working really hard with the golf course this last, 4 or 5 months on trying to figure out, how to not take away from the golf course, but try to create some more money for the golf course. The golf course is coming back up, so it is creating some more revenue. So it does drop the projected transfers that we have to put in, because in history's past, we've had to do over 6, 7, 8 sometimes in the golf course, and now we're at 420, I believe, 420. So they've done a good job to try to bring that down. So kudos to them. Enterprise funds, the airport looks like it's doing well, and so is the cemetery, because you want to literally break even on those ones. They're not making money, but we still have to provide for them. So if we can get enough revenue, and so we can keep our costs, right at level, we're doing a great job, and Gloria and her team are doing a great job, and Don. As far as the other, your general operating fund, and where we stand right now, what Don has told you guys in the past, this one was a tough budget, but, since I've been here, this is the first time that I actually feel like, wow, we're making some progress, because, we know what department is doing, we're putting money where we need to finish some projects. We got a lot of projects coming up in the capital outlay program, and Gloria has fine-tuned that where we're not going to get kind of surprised by some late bills that we have. So I feel like Gloria and Don and their team has done a great job on the budget this year. It's probably the first one. But I'm only 2 years. The first two was kind of, it was a learning experience. But now this year, I really feel like I'm confident to say I will put my name on this one.
He's going to.
Yeah, well, I'm going to, I guess, right? Any more comments from the council? Okay, I need a motion.
Well, we've got to go to 21.
Oh, 21?
Item 21.
That's for the action item. This one's presentation.
Oh, that was a presentation. Oh, okay, so now okay, thank you, sir. All right, so then we're going to go to discussion resolution 22-17, Is that the one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, budget adjustments with schedule budget adjustments? No.
Sir.
Oh, 21. I'm sorry.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to make a motion that we approve Resolution 22-1767 for fiscal year 22-23 interim budget.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Which option?
Option 2, sorry.
Thank you. I'll second that.
Second on option 2. Thank you. Roll call. Councilor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilor Michael?
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte?
Yes.
Councilor Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you. That one will pass. Good job, y'all.
You're up.
Okay, 23, you're up there, Gloria. We tabled 22.
Ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, council, governing body. So we have a state statute, section 6-10-1.2 of the New Mexico State Statutes, which states, "The local governing body shall adopt procedures subject to the approval of the department on the terms and conditions of accepting payments by credit card or electronic transfers." So that is what this credit card acceptance and processing policy is about. This policy is to establish and define requirements for collecting, storing, processing, and transmitting credit card data to ensure proper control, integrity of the data, and as well as to facilitate compliance. So we need to be taking every effort to protect our customers' information, the data, the card numbers, the security code numbers on the back, and, you know, any processing information that we may gather. So this policy is put into place here at the City of Grants for the majority of, or all of, our acceptance of credit card for payments, online payments, and also if somebody calls in and gives us their credit card information. So we have to be very diligent in keeping the privacy policy, getting that information, and then also discarding the information if it's given to us over the phone. We cannot keep credit card information and, you know, make a payment for them again next month. That just doesn't happen. That's a liability for us. You have a question, Mayor?
So like the water department, like you're talking about taking money in and not doing the automatic withdrawal every month?
I'm talking about when somebody calls in to make a payment, they give their credit card number over the phone. Let's say we write it down, we've got to make sure we shred that information and get rid of it.
I got you.
And same thing can happen with lodger's tax payments, business license payments. We cannot be responsible for keeping those cards, and you'd be amazed how many people, and we can get confirmation of how many people ask us, just keep my card and just do my payment next month. We cannot do that. That's against the statute.
Let me ask you a question on that.
Sure.
I know with Continental Divide, when you call in to pay over the phone, they ask you what your credit card number is. And after you give them your credit card number, they ask you, do you want us to keep it for future payments or not? Because you have the option, maybe next month you want to use a different card. But if you keep the 7 card, your card on there, they're not going to bill you automatically. They just wait for you to call next month and they use that same card. Is that part of the package, or do you just have to discard it, period?
Well, for us, we have to discard it, period. We will not keep any information on file.
Okay.
Our systems don't keep any information on file, and we have to allow the customers to know that our systems are secure. You know, our integrity for our electronic systems are secure, our firewalls are secure. So that's what this policy is being put in place for, and I have to submit it with the interim budget to the Department of Finance.
So once approved, how are these policies and procedures disseminated?
So every department that receives credit card payments or online payments of any kind are going to receive this policy, and they're going to be held accountable to make sure they process. The department directors will, you know, train their employees, and we do have somewhat policy in place right now, but it's not like this. This is very, very
This is
in-depth.
different.
Yes.
Does that affect the courts, municipal court?
Any entity that takes in a credit card.
Like that.
And so I'm asking that you all, as the governing body, approve this policy for us.
Okey-dokey, any questions from the council? Any more? Good to go.
Gloria.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I need a motion, please.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to accept the action of 22-1767, I'm sorry, 22-1765.
That's
We're all, man,
No, you know,
we're
we
all.
skipped to a resolution. It's
There's no
action item.
resolution. It's an action.
Yeah, there's no
So there's-
resolution.
Okay,
so you just-
to accept the credit card acceptance and procedures, processing. It's bedtime.
I'm supposed to fumble, not you.
I'm helping Mayor out.
I think I'll second it.
There we go.
I'm here for the fun. I'm here for the fun.
Well, thank you. Roll call. Counselor Gutierrez.
That's me, yes.
Counselor Michael.
Yes.
Counselor Rodarte.
Yes.
Counselor Garcia.
Yes.
Thank you. That will pass.
Whoops.
Okay, we're at Chief. I believe this one's yours. Thank you. This one is action purchase, grants fire and rescue purchase of 2216 PSI carbon cylinders.
I always love to have show and tell.
Perfect.
Stay. Mayor, tell.
It's because he was laughing about it. Just kidding.
Easy fix.
I can't hear nothing from Donald now.
It's okay.
That's okay? No, it's
I second
not. Mayor, council, city manager, staff, and the few that are left in the audience, all the way to the back. Fire and Rescue appreciated the $50,000 that you granted us at a previous meeting, so we'd like to spend some of that now. Each year, we do very many compliance issues. It's hydrants, it's hose, and this year it was our SCBA bottles. And I tried to have 44 of them inspected, and 16 of them came back not being able to do that because they're going to time out this next year. So I thought, well, this is the time to get some new ones. They're $1,020 a piece, but they have a 15-year lifespan. These are the carbon cylinders, they're the lighter ones. We even have some of the steel ones still in play, and we're going to get rid of all of those with your approval and have these all ready for this next fiscal year for all of our firefighters. So, in simple, we're going to piggyback off of the Albuquerque Fire's contract with Artesia, and they're going to provide us with 30 brand-new bottles.
Wow. For 50 grand.
30,825.
Oh, nice. So this was, council, we took some money out of investments. We took $50,000 out so we could purchase this now, and then, but that 50,000 or the 100,000 was supposed to go towards the ladder truck. But at the end, he's gonna use that whole 100 to go look for it. We're using 50 now out of the investments that we did, or the 36. She only writes checks of the amount, right? Where you are, Gloria.
She's
There you
over.
are. Yeah, remember?
Checks that we need, yes.
But this is a good thing for them. They need this. It's time.
And for your information, for the other 20,000, we're going to buy some masks, some ballistic armor, and ladders. We had our ladders inspected, and 6 of them failed. And that's only because of time and age. So I've got a good price on some of them with Artesia as well, and we're going to get them changed out between now and the end of this fiscal year. So we'll have that done as well.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Comments from the council?
Much needed. Much needed.
Yes, yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Chief, and your team.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything. I need a motion for this one. Thank you.
I move for purchase of grants fire and rescue, purchase of 2216 PSI carbon cylinders.
Thank you. I need a second.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Roll call. Counselor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Counselor Michael?
Yes.
Counselor Rodarte?
Yes.
Counselor Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you. That won't pass. Okay, where are we at now? The pantry. This one's cool. The pantry, you're up with the cog. This is a good one.
I like Donald's analogy from that today.
Good evening, Mayor Garcia, council members, and city manager Armijo.
Hello.
Thank you for this
Hello.
time for this presentation.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to give you a little bit of the history of the Grants Community Pantry. It all started in 1999 with Jim Harlan in Gallup, along with other community leaders. They created the Community Pantry, which is now known as the 501c3 organization that it is today. But in 2000, through partnerships and relationships that were built with community leaders here in Grants, the Grants Community Pantry began in 2000. But it started off in the parking lot of the First United Methodist Church, and along with the help of the First Baptist Church. And with them, along with many volunteers, for 2 years they worked out of ice chests, delivering food to approximately 300 families here in Grants. Since then, in 2002, through the efforts and the generosity of people in both communities providing donations, the building that you guys know now, the 3,500 square foot building that you guys know now as the Grants Community Pantry, was purchased by the Gallup Community Pantry, okay? And so it is the Grants Community Pantry is umbrellaed underneath the Gallup Community Pantry, sorry. But through the years, the Grants Community Pantry, along with the Gallup Community Pantry, has grown. It's enhanced its programs, okay? But Grants still is not in a position to provide all of the services and programs that we do in Gallup, simply because of the location, okay? The building was built in the 1950s, and it's deteriorating, and like his cylinder, it just needs to be replaced. Okay. Currently, Cibola County has 27,184 people residing in it, with 9,163 of these people living in the city limits of Grants. In 2019, pre-pandemic, the pantry handed out 858,230 pounds of food. Okay? This is dry goods, dairy meats, and fresh produce. We serviced 981 families, equaling out to be 3,924 individuals. In 2020, the pandemic hit us all. Our businesses were shut down, and they were forced to close, leaving a lot of our community members, some of them with absolutely no resources whatsoever. So here in Grants, during 2020, we handed out 1,589,000 pounds of food. We doubled our distributions from once a month to biweekly, because we knew the people had the need for it. The stimulus checks came in 2021, and so the needs of the community lessened a little bit, but they're starting to creep up now. In 2022, we are on target to hit the 1 million pound mark again, if not more. The Gallup Pantry and the Grants Pantry share the same mission: to acquire, store, and distribute wholesome food to children, the elderly, and families in need. And we all know that that's from birth to death. Okay? And it's because our vision is to nourish our families and children so that the communities will thrive. Because our motto is that no mother's child should go hungry. As we share a lot of the same programs, the TFAP program is the only program that is income guidelined, okay? And unbeknownst to a lot of people, this is also the only program that the state funds. Everything else is on us, okay? We're looking at coming to Grants and expanding our agency program, which is an outstretched arms into the community to get food to those who cannot come to us. If the state accepts the New Mexico Food Security Grant that we're applying for, along with the collaboration of the City of Grants, we would be able to purchase the property located at 916 Sacaleras, along with the extended property to provide the City of Grants and Cibola County residents with a multi-use upgraded building. Along with this purchase, we would be able to have plenty of cold storage so that we can expand our programs into this community to provide the dollar stretchers, making people's money stretch further into the community to pay their utility bills, to pay their rent, and so forth. Pre-pandemic, 30% of the Grants Pantry budget was funded by private donations. 3% was funded by local businesses. 20% was funded by your local churches. 27% was funded through foundations and organizations. 40% of the budget pre-pandemic was funded by grant writing by our organization and supplemented by the Gallup Community Pantry. Okay. In 2021, this all changed because of the pandemic. The private donations came in at 55%. Local businesses went up a little bit by 4%. The churches moved up to 21.4%. Foundations went down to 8%. And we got a little bit of government funding from Cibola County, which was 11.5% of the budget. Right now, the total budget for the Grants Community Pantry is approximately $100,000 a year. If this grant goes through and we are able to purchase this building, I'm sure that the budget will go up, okay? And the reason being is because, well, the electricity, the gas, more employees, which is what we need in this area. Through the opportunity, we will be able to afford opportunities to create our own revenue resource through the rental of the offices and by providing the community with the community garden, which will allow them economic advantages for the farmers market and so forth like that. Okay? With all this being said, I'm really hoping that the City of Grants leadership is willing to partner with us on this endeavor for the betterment of our community. Do you guys have any questions?
I'm really excited about it. I met you during my campaign, and I have seen what the pantry's done as a in the past life social worker in private practice, often referring families in need. And food insecurity is a real thing and became even more real to so many people, including working families and our elders during COVID. Thank you for this. This is a wonderful plan. I'm hoping the city's all behind it. The idea, you were the one to tell me the idea of the community gardens. There probably, you'll have people in the community who will take ownership of that and put their hearts and soul into it.
That's right.
It's something of providing the perishables with very little cost for the pantry itself.
Exactly.
Thank you for your work on this, Mrs. Perez.
No problem.
I'm very happy.
I'm excited.
Who owns the property where the pantry sits right now?
The Gallup Community Pantry.
So what would happen to that?
We haven't got that far in the plans yet, but it's we're talking.
Well, one of the things, I mean, we could talk about that on the MOU or something on the negotiation, but we don't want to get left with another building from the 1950s, so we would try to see if it was either how we would knock it down or the city would retain it. So at our discretion, we would knock it down because if you guys didn't have the funds, but it's like we don't want to be left with all these buildings in town. Like if I had the chance, I would go knock down the Sun Motel myself, but we can't. But if we own a building, we can knock it down, depending. But we could talk about that, I guess. Evan, can you talk a little bit about it and how this grant funding is working and how you started and where the direction is going?
Sure, appreciate that, Mayor and
Thank you,
Council.
sir.
Again, Evan Williams, Executive Director at the Northwest New Mexico Council of Governments, just here to help support this project and bring it forward. I think there's a couple key points and a couple key steps. Tonight, the pantry's asking for the City of Grants to pass a resolution in order to apply for grant funding. They're applying for about $2 million, which would cover purchase of the facility, the land, and some improvements. And so they need a government agent to be able to do that. And so you would actually be the ones purchasing the building and be the owners of that building if they are successful in getting the grant. So tonight we're just doing step one, but then hopefully we'll be doing step two, which will involve, purchase agreement negotiations based on a phase one appraisal, whatever your purchasing policy and your attorney advised the city to do in terms of Board of Finance and acquiring property. But that happens all the time. And then we have some examples of a management agreement that we use with other nonprofits that sets the structure of them taking care of the facility, paying fair market rent or some abatement because of the service they are providing to the community. So we have those pieces kind of ready to roll. But right now, we're just trying to get you to approve submitting the grant on their behalf and taking ownership of the building or working through negotiation if they do get the grant. So that's all we're doing tonight, is asking your approval of the resolution to take that first step. I would invite you to visit with Alice more, go tour the site and kind of get her vision of what she sees, because I think, the mayor and the manager were both out there, and I don't believe things until I see them. So it helped me to understand that this building looks exactly like the building in Gallup. I mean, it's suitable with office space, warehousing space. It's got the things you need to really store, distribute, and then expand into that vision. So with that, Mr. Mayor, I can stand for questions.
Thank you, Evan. You guys all know Evan from the COG. He's been instrumental in a lot of stuff that we do around here. Him and Domino work very good together. They get a lot of stuff done, so kudos to the COG. They do a good job. Council, this is a project where it's very cool. What we're talking about as far as retaining the property, because as an entity like the pantry, they can't apply for certain funding. So they have to, like we did at the rodeo grounds. Harry found that we could get some funding for the rodeo grounds, but they're not going to give it to an association. They're going to give it to a government entity, just as for like ourselves. Like the rodeo grounds, we own the property, we own the grounds, but we don't run it. The association runs it. It would be the same concept as this. We would own the property. We would help them out, try to get the funding, and the outlook of this, it helps the community. Like you say, the building is Jerry. I mean, it's a good 20-year building where they won't have to do a lot of things to it. There's an acre behind it, I believe, where you guys can put your hoop houses and growing. And everyone knows I grow, and it's growing vegetables for the community year-round. It could be done. Like it's hard, but it's not that hard.
We do it already.
Yes. Yep. So kudos to you guys for what you guys do for the community, because there is people out there that do struggle, and sometimes it's we have to lean somewhere to get some help. And being it on Sacaleras, that we eventually are going to redo Sacaleras in the next few years. It is actually going to be, eye-catching, somewhere where people do go and feel comfortable coming in and out. The pantry where there is now, it's 1950. Can't say any more about it. But this is a good idea. I would hope that the council would go along with this and support it, because it's very good.
Mr. Mayor, and if people have a chance to go see what they're doing now, I mean, even just in the existing building and the volunteers and the people working there, it'll warm your heart. It's a good thing, and we've got to support it in our community. We have a need.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, and I will go for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to make this motion.
Thank you,
That
ma'am.
we approve resolution number 22-1762, Sacaleras Boulevard, collaboration with Gallup Pantry purchase.
Thank you, ma'am. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, sir. Roll call. Councilor Garcia?
Yes.
Yeah. Councilor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilor Michael?
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte?
Yes.
Too many Gs.
Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for everything and what you
Thank
do.
you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Where's that second wheel?
Okay, so we got the mosquito. Okay, we're on number 28. All right, discussion action resolution number 22-1763, TPF Nimitz Avenue Phase 3 reconstruction. Hello, sir.
Mayor Garcia, council members, pleasure to be here. A lot of new faces. My name is Chris Pereira with Wilson & Company. I have also with me Dan Aguirre, Wilson & Company. He's our division manager for municipal services.
Nice to meet you, sir.
We've been working with the city for many years. I think the first time I stood here was when Mayor Murrieta was still in office, so we go back a long way. As Mayor knows, and many of the council members will start to learn, we do a lot with city grants, with Don, with Evan. We have a lot of wonderful things that we're planning. As far as transportation infrastructure improvements, we're just finishing First Street Phase 2, working on Pond and Pump, next phase of Roosevelt, Washington Phase 2 and 3, Sacaleras. There's just a multitude of things that we're doing with you currently. This item, Resolution 22-1763 for Nimitz Avenue Phase 3, is from Sage to Truman. Again, as Evan indicated, it's a required resolution to apply for NMDOT transportation project funds. We'll be asking the DOT for $1.2 million for improvements on Nimitz from essentially Sage to Truman. It is a 5% match, which means the city would have to contribute $60,000 to get the remainder of the $1.4 million. So with that, it's basically full roadway reconstruction, curb and gutter, sidewalks, driveways, drainage improvements. It'll be the project in itself. And it's the last piece that we haven't done between Route 66 and where it intersects Mesa to the north. So with that, I stand for any questions.
Council?
Donald, we're good with the matching funds?
Yeah, we have some funding, a variety of funding options in the current budget. However, we do have some other plans, so, but it's a 4-year agreement, so we don't quite have to spend it this next fiscal year, but we can initiate the following fiscal year. So if we can initiate this year, we will. If not, then obviously we'll wait.
And as Don is alluding to, we need to go through the process, right? So we'll have to get our environmental documents in order to make sure that there's not any impacts to flora, fauna, cultural properties. We'll have to go through the DOT process where we got to get 5 certifications, which is environmental, right-of-way, utility, ITS, and rail. Rail and ITS in this case will be simple, but the environmental, right-of-way confirmation and utility will be the main points on this one. It is about from beginning design, certification to get to final design. It will be a 6 to 9 month process depending on what we uncover. The other phases have been relatively smooth, but you never know. So more than likely, I'll need to work with Don to put a realistic schedule together on where this hits within the confines of all the other projects we have, and how it makes sense to lay it out with when the money will be available and when we'll be ready to move forward with construction plans, award, bid, and actual construction.
You know how excited I am for this one? 'Cause I grew up on Austin, and growing up, when your mom and dad say, go get milk, you know, you're cruising down on your bike, every bump on that sidewalk, you know, it's still there. So I'm so glad that you're repairing it, you know, it's cool.
And in that area, there's, some of it doesn't have
Oh,
sidewalks.
there's nothing, there's some good dirt ramps that we have, you know, and they're still there.
Right.
But this is a great project, you know, this is something that Grants has been needing for a long time. The residents there, it's gonna tie in where they did there on Washington and Jefferson, where is fix the curb and gutter, they're part of their street going, or their driveway going in. It's gonna be a really nice, they're gonna landscape it the rest of the way. So this is a great project. So my recommendation is, well, I don't have a recommendation. I need a motion to.
I move for approval of Resolution 22-1763 TPF Nimitz Avenue Phase 3 reconstruction.
Thank you, sir. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, sir. Roll call. Councilor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilor Michael?
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte?
Yes.
Councilor Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you. That will pass. Chris,
I
thank you.
just wanted to
Oh,
make a
no,
comment
go.
on that as well. I grew up there on Nimitz, about half a block from Elsip's, and I'm in wholehearted agreement with the mayor on this, because that area needs to be redone very well.
Thank you.
It's just,
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
It
you.
just takes, you know, a long time with government, you know, to find funding.
I think we've all cruised our bikes all around Grants. And back then it was fun, but now that we drive, yeah.
Most of us grew up in those neighborhoods, so It's a nice thoroughfare. It needs
I
to
grew up
be.
in the basin.
Oh, yeah, and it's gonna tie in eventually with the biopark, you know, it's all
Yeah.
Band Street gutter, where then eventually.
Biopark, Sucker Lettuce, the
Sucker Lettuce.
master trail plan. I mean, we've got a lot of things all tying together. I was driving the boss around earlier saying, oh, we did this one, we did that one, we did this one. Anytime you would like, open invitation to any of you council members. I can take you around town, I can show you all the stuff we've done. It's a lot.
Take
We're
advantage
proud
of
to
that
be
if he's
here.
offering when he comes down, because Wilson has been instrumental in our success of grants, because they came around, what year was it?
It's been 20 years.
20 years, so it's, they see what grants can be with the infrastructure that they've done, and now we're at with the master trail and stuff that we can have, the outdoor recreation. You know, Chris and his team, and you're very, very smart, and they're pushing hard for this, so they do a great job, so.
Thank you.
Catch up with them, they do.
Thank you.
They have a lot of info, and it's cool.
Thank you.
And it's in District 2, so let's do it.
Can I ask you a question that's
Yes, sir.
not necessarily related to that, but it is related to what you're doing in grants? How's the lighting project coming along for First Street?
I knew you were going to ask me that. So we have all of the components, so we have the poles, the rebar, we have the luminaires, we have the solar panels, we have all the controllers. The only thing we don't have is the battery boxes. So I did some arm twisting this weekend, or this week. We should have the battery boxes June 1st, which means we then have all the components. We'll start installing all of the lights, hopefully the first week of June.
Okay.
Should take us about a month to 6 weeks. We've already laid out, we know where all the lights go based on all the improvements. We've had to adjust some to make sure everything fits, so we weren't messing with driveways or parking or stuff like that. So we've made some adjustments. We know where everything goes. We'll start demoing that first week of June, and then we'll get 27 poles, panels, batteries. We got to get in.
Awesome.
We also need to, and I'm glad you brought that up, we're going to need to execute a new lighting agreement for Phase 2, which I've been working with the DOT on. So there's a lighting agreement in place that covers Phase 1, basically Santa Fe to Washington. We'll need to do a second one from Washington to Roosevelt. So I've been working with Don and the district on that. Basically, it says it's yours, you have to maintain it. Good luck. You know the standard deal with the DOT, right?
And the DOT's okay with solar lights, right?
Yes, we got it approved with the DOT. It is the first solar roadway lighting component system that has gotten on the Department of Transportation's approved products list.
Awesome.
You would not believe how many hoops we had to jump through. Well, we did. We're good to go.
And it's nice, yeah, it's gonna be nice. Like, you go down through Second and First Street now, and it's dark, but it's gonna be white.
Yeah.
It's the-
That's the hype crowd. They're still here. They're still.
I thought I was doing all bad because we were last, so I got a cheering section. This is awesome.
There you go.
So I have a question. Are there going to be any stop signs on First Street? I mean, you're going down there, it's so tempting.
I
It's
keep
like
stopping at all.
There no
nothing, huh?
Washington.
like it.
All you do is cruise.
Yeah, but can
Oh, no,
you
yeah,
imagine
Washington
being a
gone.
16-year-old?
But I don't know how, yeah.
Well, when I come out of Jefferson, I'm always having to wait for the traffic on Washington. Usually, it was all stopped there at Washington, I just took off. But now you gotta watch the
Traffic, yeah, it feels cool, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
it's a neat project.
It's exciting for us as well, right? Because I started Phase 1 portion in 2010. Wow. I've been working on that job for 12 years.
Wow, 12 years.
So you've seen the goods.
So it's incredible, even from our perspective, like you said, Mayor, it takes time and it takes a serious commitment. As a community, you're actually very fortunate because you are fiscally solvent. If you weren't, there's a lot of these fundings that we've been able to get that you wouldn't even be able to apply for. So the fact that you're fiscally solvent is huge, really important to be able to apply for these types of opportunities.
Yes, sir.
So, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, sir, thank you.
Thank you, Donald and Gloria.
And that's your boss right there, right?
Yeah.
That's the
He does a
boss.
really good job, this guy right here, just pointing it out.
Where's Mario at?
So that's another thing I meant to mention is Mario's no longer with Wilson and Company.
No?
He is now the acting manager for City of Anthony. So he decided he wanted to pursue something like Donald. So we wish him well. Obviously, we miss him. He's done he's really the one that started all the hard work and grants back with Bob Harasik and Roberta and Mayor Miretta. That was earlier term. So
Well, wish him well from us, will you?
we're sad to see him go, but we've got a commitment to the city of Grants, and we're going to meet the commitments that we have and make sure everything gets taken care of.
Yeah. Mario was a key component to our success here, but he's going to a role up there by Las Cruces Anthony, like what Donald's doing. So he might be going, but he's actually, I mean, he's a good friend, he's good connections with Donald, Chris, and he's going to change the world over there, and he still remembers us, so it's going to be a good relationship to have another city manager that, you know.
And the best part is I know where he lives, so I can go get him.
That'll work, but Chris he's the man now, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you,
Nice to
Chris.
meet everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sid.
I'm leaving. Have a
Yes,
good
sir,
night.
have a safe trip here.
I'm tired too, but I gotta go an hour.
Yeah, be careful.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Okay, so we have, did we?
Parks Department.
We're on 29, okay.
Bobcat.
Okay, this is discussion action, Bobcat purchase of Parks Department state contract stock, Sourcewell.
Mayor, council, how do we do this? Let's see. We have some funding in the municipal gas tax available for some
remember this one.
equipment, and we would like to purchase a Bobcat with those funds. However, the Bobcat is 9 to 12 months out. However, we want to secure the purchase with the purchase order, which will take your action, your approval. We'll initiate a purchase order, and then we'll just redo a new purchase order for the FY '23. But we want to secure it because they're so far out. It's crazy. This equipment is, I mean, you order a John Deere or a Bobcat, I don't care what you want to call it. It's
9 months.
It's 6 to 12 months out. And we'd like to secure one as soon as possible for the Parks Department. That's where this, we recently bought a Bobcat for the Streets Department. This Bobcat would be for the Parks and Recreation Department, Parks and Maintenance. The goal is to have a Bobcat in every department that is necessary.
That suits them. We say Bobcat, but like the Parks Division they're getting a Bobcat tractor where they have the implements in the back. It's a tractor, so they can use the attachments in the back. The Streets Departments, they wanted a track skidster, so, but the next one maybe for golf course, they might want, somewhere along the line, we have to keep getting, this is coming out of the New Mexico Gas Fund, so this is something that's going to be occurring every year. This is something where the citizens are wanting our parks to glow, and this is us telling them that we are doing the best we can because we're going to give the proper equipment to our people so they could do a better job. And they are doing a good job, it's just they need the proper equipment. It's hard.
Do we know the cost, or?
Oh, yeah.
Did you say that?
Let's see, it's somewhere here.
Is that out of this fiscal year's funds?
Yes, sir.
Yes, 73,712 and 72 cents. And this is on a state contract with Sourcewell. So it's state contract, we didn't have to get bids. And it's 73,712 and 72 cents. Request your approval.
I'll make a motion that we approve this Bobcat purchase for the Parks Department on state contract for $73,712.72.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, sir. Roll call. Councilor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilor Michael?
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte?
Yes.
Councilor Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you. That will pass. Okay. That one's you again.
And actually Shannon would be here tonight, but she's was unable to make it, so. Anyway, hot mix for Zuni Canyon, we planned this project since last year. We tried to leave as much in the pot of funds for the same funding, municipal gas tax. And after the equipment purchase that we just spoke about, there's $260,000 available in current funding. The bid to do Zuni Canyon Road, the asphalt, is $360,000. However, we're not going to overspend, so we're asking tonight approval for $260,000 purchase from C&E Concrete for asphalt to begin paving on Zuni Canyon Road. And just to note, Zuni Canyon Road, we're all familiar with it. They're going to widen it 2 foot on each side. And so anyway, a lot of long, everyone's been waiting for this project because I don't know if you've driven Zuni Canyon lately, but it's not fun. Yeah, you need one of them side-by-sides to drive Zuni Canyon.
Yeah. And that's from where to where?
From Highway 53 to the county limit, and that's where Quail Run Trailer Park.
Is that the road that takes you to the airport back there? Or close to it?
Not that far, a little bit before that. A little bit before that. The Quail Run Trailer Park, they still have the sign, but the trailers are gone.
Yeah.
And that's Beverly's district, so we're paving roads everywhere. Except for you guys.
On the contract, it says above price is subject to increase due to current market oil and diesel at the time, so this can go up?
Well,
If we don't pay the full thing?
Your action will secure the 260 at this
Right.
price. However, whenever we go back for the 100, because the overall price is 360, so that last 100,000 may go up a little bit.
But we don't have the 360 to...
No.
But it'll go into next year's fiscal.
Right away, it'll go into the next, they already budgeted it for the 23 of that 130,000. That's in the Gloria's budget now and Don's budget, so we didn't have enough this year in the gas tax, because the gas tax automatically, the physical year, we get the lump sum back was 800,000, something?
Something.
So we get that right away, so we'll spend it, because we'll pay a certain amount, we'll clean up the sides, expand the road, and then as soon as the July comes, we'll come to council again right away for the approval of that. Right away, so we can finish that road up. Yeah, we don't want to leave it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was my only concern. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So I need a motion, please.
Motion, Mr. Mayor, to approve purchase of hot mix from C&E Concrete for Zuni Canyon Road overlay.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I second.
Thank you. Roll call. Councilor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilor Michael?
Yes.
Councilor Rodarte?
Yes.
Councilor Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you. That will pass.
Thank you.
And, okay, discussion, this one is you again, Donald.
Yeah. The grinding machine prior to the lift station broke. It needs repair. And to repair its, dang it, I should have read all this before $30,815 is the repair. And we do not want to leave the grinding machine down because big items will go into the pumps at the lift station that leads to the wastewater treatment plant. And then we're busting pumps that cost $30,000, $60,000, $120,000, I think is the big one. So we need to fix this ASAP. It went down, I think, last week. And with your approval, we'll get this fixed starting next week. So my request is to approve $30,815, and the funding is available currently in the current budget in the wastewater treatment plant.
And the company does the repairs and all that?
Yes, yeah. And I believe they're a sole source?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sole source, so. Yeah, you have a sole source letter in your packet. One from Monster Parts.
What this does, council, if you guys ever have time to go to the wastewater treatment plant, you'll see it now that it's basically a grinding, so the material, your wrappers or whatever, everyone is throwing down the machine or the drain, it's actually grinding up. So when it gets to the station there, you'll see now that it's just floating, so it's taking a lot of time and man-hours of trying to get it cleaned up because they're actually fishing it out of the things because it's just basically crap like this. So eventually, like Donald says, it will mess up your pumps and whatnot, so this is something that has to be done, and frequently it goes out, but it is budgeted for.
And we don't have a backup on that, do we?
No, we don't.
Do you recommend that we should maybe down the road look at one?
Yeah, but it would cost $60,000.
Because I know
yeah.
like the other pumps, we have backups on those, right?
On the smaller ones, we don't have backups on all the big ones because they're so expensive. It would be nice to budget for a backup, but then I got to fight with Gloria.
Look at Gloria. Look at Gloria.
Talk nicer and we will.
No, but yeah,
It would be nice to
eventually,
get
sir,
that.
I mean, as we create money in every department, it would be nice as we see funds to get some capital in our maintenance in every department. So eventually, we'll get it.
That'd be a good idea.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of the parts from JWC Environmental for the 66 lift station, rebuild the grinding machine of a total of $30,815.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I second.
Thank you, sir. Roll call. Counselor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Counselor Michael?
Yes.
Counselor Rodarte?
Yes.
Counselor Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you. That will pass.
Thank you.
Where are we at? Donald, you're up. Manager report.
Yeah, just real short and sweet. We did receive $1 million funding for the Second Street shared loop trail, which will take it on the trail on Second Street. We'll take it from Roosevelt Avenue up the hill, up there by the police station, down to the new bridge of the high school. So we're going to develop that trail, and it's $1 million. I think the construction estimate's about $850. Planning and design is $150,000. I received a letter from Joanne Garcia. She used to be at D6 here. She's a local resident, but now she lives in Santa Fe. And she called me right away because she was all excited because she's from here. And anyway, she works for the TAP program now, and she called me first that we were going to receive the award. Anyway, I got the letter this past week. We got $1 million for that project. My second item is I want to talk about the budget, but we already did that. The library done a great job. And I got to say, you know, being in city manager the last few months, I never wanted to come to City Hall when I was projects for some crazy reason. But you know what? You guys got a good staff here. I will say you guys have a wonderful staff here. I appreciate them. They are always willing to help me. It's great teamwork. Anyway, I just wanted to say you guys have, and I appreciate them very much. I think we're blessed. So just FYI.
I appreciate you.
That's it. Thank you.
Comments from the council? Come on, someone.
I do want to say, Donald, just in the last couple weeks of working with you and Gloria, just going over stuff, and just the rest of the council, I'm very grateful. I do want to kind of go on, like this last week, I went to a Molly training for the municipal league for newly elected appointed officials, and man, that was awesome. It made me more confident to be up here today. Got me up to speed with things, and just something I just think that we should continue doing is continue education, you know, for all of us to make these summits, to network with other mayors, other councils, just seeing that everyone's problems are pretty much the same, just different areas. And it makes it kind of comforting that we're not alone, but even listening to things of a lot of not so great things happening in cities, and looking what's happening here, it's like, wow, like we're pretty blessed, we're pretty all right. So just those kind of things, to network with other municipalities was a pretty awesome experience, and thank you, Fran, for setting me up. They did have a place for me to stay, so we're good. But that's what I had to say.
I got a comment I want to make. Just to kind of bring you a little bit of awareness. You all know Corinne Padilla. She is Councilman Padilla's wife. Anyway, tomorrow afternoon about 1 o'clock, they're having a big award presentation at the community center there. She has been working very diligent for many years on it. She's going to be getting the CPRC Heritage Award, and that's a very prestigious award. The community center is being granted to be a historical site. Some of the participants in that application process are Mrs. Marie Peña, Mrs. Edwina Trujillo, Mr. Fred Padilla, former counselor, Mrs. Janice Simpson, Mrs. Teresa Dominguez, Salvador Chavez, the late Mr. Salvador Chavez, Mr. Nestor Grego, and Mrs. Susie Gallegos. And it's a privilege. Corinne has been working very hard at this for many years. She's been very diligent, and she's going to get honored tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. They invited us, and I think anybody's welcome to go. It's going to be held there at downtown in the community center in the kitchen area.
St. Teresa's Community Center.
Yeah,
there
St. Teresa
on the
Community
corner.
Center.
It's at High Street and.
Oh, the Rose.
The Rose Center.
Where the leaks at, Donald?
No, it's the big.
Right next to the
What's
It's
it
right
made
next to
out
the
of?
St.
It's the
Teresa School.
big community center, the old
Oh,
one.
the gym.
Oh, the gym.
The very
All right,
first.
gym, yeah.
Community center?
Oh,
That's
yeah,
okay,
the gym,
okay,
yes,
okay.
they're yeah, that's cool.
It was the first school and the first with the community center. It's fascinating. She sent me the whole letter on how they did it, and the Cultural Properties Review Committee did recognize it as an historic place on April 1st. So they are receiving that Heritage Award, and it's going to be very exciting. I read all the documents, the research that they did, her and the other folks that did it. They really, Father Gerard kept some exemplary records, because they were able, every question that came up on the application to make it an historical site, they were able to go direct to his records and pull up everything they needed to know. And I was happy to hear, like, my uncle and my dad were volunteers to help build it. It was that much of a
really?
community
What year was
effort
that?
to make it do. They started it in, oh my gosh, it's right here, let's see,
52, I think it was.
in the
53, I
50s,
think.
53, yeah. And then it talked about the changes, because it used to have just this old basement. When we were kids, we found roller skates down in that basement, and the nuns let us fix them all up and use them. And so they converted all that. That's when they made the cafeteria. They added additional classrooms, and then they added the blacktop up on the top so we could still roller skate there. But good memories. I mean, many of us grew up in that building also. So going to be a nice event.
Some of the survivors, I got a list of some of the following are survivors of the building of the St. Teresa Community Center. Mrs. Marie Peña, Moleres Peña, Mrs. Angela Garcia Sanchez, Mr. Filimon Vigil, Mrs. Bertie Hawkinson Abraham, Mrs. Mary Lou Baca Grego, Mrs. Teresa Carica Zerwas, the Very Reverend Alberto Avella, Miss Jean Moleres, Mr. Robert Horacek, and Mr. Paul Milan.
Wow, some history there.
I went to school there when they had nuns. I graduated 8th grade from there, so.
I'll bring a picture next time.
That was, it's a cool building. I mean, it's historical, it is. Not that I graduated, but
Congratulations to
it's
them.
historical.
Speaking of school, I just want to say congratulations to the graduates, class of 2022, Grants High School. They're graduating tomorrow evening. Congratulations to them.
Yes, sir.
Go Pirates, right?
Go Pirates.
Who knows the fight song? I know it word by word still.
We're not. Diego, let's go.
Dear old Grants High, the pride of all the West. We'll sing out the story and we'll yell out the glory of the school we love the best. Love the best. All hail to dear old Grants High. Forever will be true. And we'll all extend every heart and hand for the honor of old Grants High GHS.
There you get that.
Class of 2022, appreciate that.
There you go.
Speaking of GHS, during that ATV rally that's coming in September, the classes of 1971, 72, and 73, right, hon, are going to be having their 50-year, 51, 52-year class reunion, and it's going to be happening all down here at the amphitheater.
Oh, that's cool.
I was actually invited to that on behalf of my dad. That was so
that's
cool.
71 or 72?
72.
What are you?
Well, my wife is 72.
It's my mom's. It's my dad's
I'm a little older
classmate.
than that.
He doesn't want to say.
It's one of my dad's great classmates back there.
There you go. All righty. I got a few things. Today was it was a pretty neat event. Gunny and I went to Milan, and they had the Run for the Wall. You know, that was pretty amazing for them, the students, to pay tribute to the people who are going to Washington, D.C. to honor a good thing for our veterans. It's really neat. They do a good job. Like, it had to have been 200 bikes, huh? It was a lot. Did you go there? You see it?
No, I've been there since the inception from being at Milan.
I forgot. Yeah,
They gave all the kids T-shirts.
Yeah.
It was really
My daughter
cool.
came home 4 years old with pins and everything.
Nice
And said,
stuff.
I saw motorcycles, and it was just, it was cool.
Yeah, that's cool. A couple other things. One of I get a lot of calls on the cemetery, and it's right behind my business, and I do spend a lot of time over there, and I'm trying to analyze on, what we can do to try to make it better. So there's a few things that Donald and I have been working together. One of the things is we found he's going to try to purchase a thing where it's a lift where you grab the stone and you grabs it, but then you use hand cranks, trailer deal, so it picks it up. So what then you do is you put sand underneath it and then you kind of blow it in so it gets underneath it, and then you lower it to level so you can get it with your grass. So I mean, this can be like we start in one corner and then hopefully we can, I mean, just poke at it as we can, because a lot of times they're falling. I mean, anytime you wet the ground, you get saturation, they're going to fall, but we need to pay respect to the people that are there and lift their stones as we get time. The trees, if you look at the south side of the cemetery, you have these big trees, green, they're real lush. You see the grass real green because those are deep-rooted trees, right? So you see on the south side that, you know, the grass is good. But you look on the north side where we first, except for the hillside where the old history is from the I think the oldest one I've seen is 1888. Yeah. It's cool. Like, the history is really neat. So I remember that side being real bad a few years ago, and the team over there have been doing a good job to try to get it back. So the grass is getting better over there. The problem is on the north side is, if you look at it, I don't want to make anybody mad, but what's why the grass doesn't grow is because of the elm trees. Those are surface water trees, or surface low. They don't go down deep, so they're stealing the moisture away from the grass. So if you really go back out there and look at it when they freshly cut it, and you can see what trees are actually not harming the grass and the trees that are harming the grass. So at some point in time, Donald, we need to come together to say, okay, we're probably going to have to take those down to help the grass. But what we do is, in the meantime, is there's probably elm trees to be taken down. They're only probably 10% of the problem over there. The rest of them are pretty good trees. They had a lot of help last year with Continental Light to help us trim them up. Dodo and his team over there, they helped them kind of get it all. It looks really good. The grass, we are looking at hopefully the same thing with the golf courses. You know, how do we repair that? But we can do that with some tender love and care. In the front there's a problem where a lot of elm trees have grown on the old side, where we can easily take that fence down. I would like to put the black fence, just a chain link for now. I would love to do wrought iron. God, I would love to, but the expensive part of it. But the problem is now is people going in there periodically and destroying the grave sites. It is not people intentionally, I believe, going in there and destroying them. It's, you know, people that are under the influence of, you know, methamphetamines or something, because I do see it all the time at my business with the cameras. They don't know what they're doing. They're going in there, and then they usually mess around with the F section. They see a pretty thing flying, so they go over there, and they're not in the right state of mind, so they destroy it, right? And then, you know, the family member comes, and I mean, I would be mad too. It's one of those things. It's the home of the people that we love. It's like their home. We need to try to make it better for them. I hope to God in my life that I leave before my wife and my kids, but if not, I know I will be visiting my wife and my kids every day there, just like a lot of people do. So I am very passionate about getting the cemetery, you know, just put some elbow grease in it, because the team over there with the parks, Mr. Apodaca and George and his team, they do a good job. Like, they really try hard. I mean, I see their frustrations when somebody gets mad and they get a call and they have to go rush over there to do that, but they're working on this project, or they don't have the proper equipment. So one of the things is Donald is working on is try to find proper equipment for these guys, Bobcat. So we're going to get there. Putting some black fence, hopefully we can find somebody or find it in some money to get that secured in the front, and then maybe eventually with that brick in the front, maybe restucco it so it looks like the rock in the front, so it looks a little bit better. Elm trees are a problem, I know, but no one can prove me wrong that they are hurting our cemetery quite a bit. One of the other things that maybe we can coordinate with Red Bolt is we do have Red Bolt over there, but we need extenders like all over the place so we can have Wi-Fi. The reason is two things. Is one, they can have communications better to their actuators that for the timing for the sprinklers. The other thing too is then we can have actually with the technology now, the camera systems that they have over there, they're all run on Wi-Fi. They can be solar, but with Wi-Fi, and if you have a good enough signal, it gets directly imported into the cloud. So there's no cables, there's no nothing. So maybe we can, I mean, if they don't want to help us out, I mean, obviously we have to see what it costs to get it done, because we need to protect their home. And so we'll start with that.
I just happened to visit the cemetery today, this afternoon. I went by to kind of browse around, and I seen this couple just sitting on the grass.
Oh, yeah.
They're just sitting there.
Oh, yeah.
And it kind of made me think, we have a beautiful cemetery. We do. And I've heard of other cemeteries that you can't do that. Just sit on the grass and you know, go visit your loved one that's there. You know, it was a neat sight for me, to tell you the truth.
We've been doing a lot of cleaning up, helping Dodo do a little bit of cleanup here when I got some time along the fence lines and of the elm trees. So we're trying to give them a hand, but I will say it's not their fault. I mean, they just need some hands, they need some equipment, and they just need us to back them up. And they're doing a good job. So anyways, we'll get that going. I think this was a pretty good meeting. It was long. It's probably my longest one yet. Thank you, Donald. Thank you, city staff. You guys rock. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. And one goal, let's just say for the cemetery is let's make it beautiful, and let's Christmas it out. You know, during Christmas, because that's marketable right there. That's fun for everybody. Thank you, everybody. So I will adjourn this meeting at 9:13 p.m. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good night. Oh, when's the next meeting? I'm sorry. Nope.
You just say it, and that's it?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways.
We're having a special meeting.
Yeah, special meeting next week, right? You'll organize that?
Eric.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you, sir.